for the week. Absolutely amazing. A curling attendance record established yesterday. 17,014 watching the semifinal as Manitoba in an extra end defeated New Brunswick by a score of 6-5. On Friday night, when the number 1, number 2 teams met in the Page playoff system, it was an extra end game as well, with Kevin Martin and his Alberta teammates prevailing. And Don, in that game, a tremendous display of shot making by both the skip Kevin Martin and the third Don Walchuk, with raises to rocks in the rings with double takeouts.
Well, I think that's what Vic Peters has to guard against, Don. He's got to make sure that he gets his rocks in the house. Good separation from him. Don't leave the angles for Martin because he'll make the doubles. And when he's playing guards, he's got to make sure his guards are a little bit higher so that the run back isn't easy for Martin. And that's the key for the whole game for Manitoba.
Well, Vic Peters was talking about the playoff encounter with Alberta, and he said, we didn't play badly. We curled pretty well, but Martin and his rink made some unbelievable shots. And that really was the story of the game. And that's the reason that Martin was able to win on an extra end. So we look for much of the same in this championship game, Manitoba and Alberta. In round-robin play, Manitoba won by a score of 7-4. That was on draw 16, at a time when both teams were assured of a 1-2 finish. It was only a question of which team would finish on top. And then in the playoff, as mentioned, it was a 6-5 Alberta win on an extra end. But based on the fact that they were the best team in round-robin play, Manitoba has last rock advantage in this championship game. And it's interesting to note as well that Manitoba had used yellow rocks in the 2 playoff games because they lost with the yellow rocks to Alberta. They also had the choice, and they have selected the red rocks for this championship game.
Well, a little bit more superstition creeping into the game, but you're right. The big thing is having last rock. Switching rocks may psychologically give them a little bit of a lift. But I think for the Manitoba team, they got to look at the game in the semifinals and say they made everything on us, absolutely everything. Doubles, raises, takeouts. At one point, Martin made a triple raise takeout to score 2, and they ended up going to an extra end. So if you look at that and you're Peters and you say, hey, if he ever misses one of those, we're going to be a couple out.
Alberta lead. Don Bartlett gets things underway. Bartlett played lead for Alberta in 1991 when they won, in 1992 when they were third, in 95 when they were third, and in 96 when they were second. This is a very experienced Alberta lead, a silver medalist at the 1991 World Championships. And he has his Brier beard underway. He has been growing that beard since the opening ceremonies. Another superstition for the Alberta rink. Scott Grant, the lead for Manitoba, made an absolutely fantastic shot on the extra end against New Brunswick, where he was able to chip one of the stones in the free guard zone over to the side boards. New Brunswick had played a corner guard, and if you were with us yesterday late in the game, you may have heard skip James Grattan of New Brunswick make the comment to his third, Charles Sullivan, Scotty did us in on this extra end, referring to that chip shot by Scott Grant.
Well, there's no question. If you're a competitive curler and you play lead position, you dream of shots like that. If you ever could make one, not only just in a game, but on national television for the whole country to see, it's unbelievable.
I said to Don yesterday, I said, what's it like curling against Scott Grant, who played 99% in the game? And he said, he doesn't want to play that well. If he doesn't leave a couple of rocks out front, what are Kevin and Don going to have to make those unbelievable angle raises that they always make?
No. Bye.
Well, Don Bartlett is a 36-year-old postal clerk at the Moyne Post Office in Edmonton. And he asked us to say hello to everybody but Harvey.
That's okay, Harvey. I'll say hello.
So now, with that stone delivered by Bartlett coming to rest in the forefoot, Scott Grant is asked to remove the stone just outside the rings belonging to Alberta.
Real hard.
He could drive it back onto the stone in the rings, but he won't take it out of play.
Well, he moved it off the button, and that's a good shot because now it's open and Martin's got his side. He's going to go in around the center guard again. And really, this first end is shaping up different from what I envisioned. I thought maybe Manitoba would go after him very quickly, and it looked like Vic Peters was going to do that by throwing up a corner guard. But now Martin's got one in around, fairly wide open, and now he's going to try to go in again.
Rudy Ramcharan is the second, the newcomer to this Alberta team. But he is showing the poise of a veteran.
How
He
much?
doesn't seem to be bothered at
Back
all
8.
by the pressure or
Okay.
the
Hurry.
large crowd or the fact that
Hurry.
they are center
Whoa.
stage here at the
Whoa,
Canadian
wait,
Airlines Saddledome.
Crowd loves him too. Every time he makes a
back.
spectacular
Let her die then.
shot, one of his angles, they all yell out Rudy. It sounds like it's almost a boo, but they're shouting his name.
Fine shot by Ramcharan as he draws to the back of the 4 behind cover.
A little bit too deep, but that's pretty good control. It's just in the back of the portrait, but it sets up a double for Manitoba. You'll see the ice.
Yeah.
Vic Peters is giving right in the center of the rock.
Chris Neufeld is the Manitoba second.
Whoa.
You heard Skip Vic Peters
Right on.
refer to him as Denny. That's his
Right
nickname.
on.
And we'll tell you how he got that nickname.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Good shot.
That's good. That's good. All right.
Both Neufeld and Peters are of German ancestry. They grew up in the Steinbach area of Manitoba. They both spoke Low German. And as youngsters, Neufeld was very thin. In German, the word for thin is den. So they started calling him Denny. And it stuck with him ever since.
I'd like to know how he stays so thin being a baker.
Clean.
I would be eating everything.
Off.
Colleen, he has some control
roll.
at the table.
No roll. Shot. Shot, Root.
Oh, pretty nice curling in the very first end.
Ramcharan removing the Manitoba stone. Alberta again lies 2.
Normal.
Peters would like to hit and roll into the middle off that stone in the 12-foot circle.
Well, what he doesn't want to do, of course, is roll
Yep.
out, and that'll
That's
enable
right.
Alberta to maybe
Yep.
draw around that center guard.
Hard.
Big shot here.
Well, that'll work. A little bit. A little bit.
Shot, Danny.
All right.
And getting a little bit of movement on the rock, and they're moving the rocks around. Of course, Manitoba trying to roll in front of the one at the back belonging to Alberta. Hoping maybe that Alberta jams it on the back one.
Well, there's a possibility here that Alberta could jam that stone onto the back.
Go the turn.
You see the Brier beard of Don Walchuk. Every year he has grown a beard. He told us that he thought he might shave prior to this championship game. His teammate said, no way, that beard stays on. You're not shaving until after the game is over.
Clean.
Boys, he had a big week at curling. He never ceases to amaze me. He just plays consistently well every game. He never, ever has a bad game.
This year, for the 5th time, he was named to the All-Star team, All-Star 3rd. So he's on 5 Briers, he's either been All-Star 2nd or 3rd.
And he has 2 Brier championships to show for his commitment to the game of curling with Pat Ryan when he put together back-to-back Canadian titles.
Little off, Dan.
Yeah. Little off.
Little off, meaning not quite as much as he has been throwing. Maybe the game in the semifinal against New Brunswick.
Oh. Oh. Yep.
The thing about throwing controlled weight is the sweepers can really control
guys,
control
right
the rolls.
Right. Good throw.
He gets them both. Well, Carey is the last member of his family to win a Brier title. His brother Barry was with, or Bill, I should say, was with Barry Fry back in 1979, the last team to win the round robin format.
Most people think it'll be the key matchup today, Don Walchuk versus Dan Carey, too.
Hard. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Both have curled exceptionally well, and now Walchuk
Hard.
going after the shot zone, looking for an inside roll. He's got it.
Oh, is he good? I'm telling you, he just makes everything. He not only makes all the shots on, but he gets the bonus points for rolling in behind the guards, and he just has such a great sense for the game.
Okay.
Try it, dead back in.
Right in the nose.
Yeah.
The nose hit. He could drive this stone back onto the Alberta shot rock and provide cover at the same time.
Hard. Hard. Right up.
He's only going to get a corner of it, though, and slide it harmlessly past the shot rock. The shooter will also roll out of play.
A little tight.
And I don't think Carey got quite out to the room there.
A little tight.
Just steered it a bit, eh?
Yeah.
Well, Carey
Slide it a
agreed
bit.
with
Okay.
Vic that he
Slide it
steered
right
it a bit. Kevin Martin now trying to cover that shot rock.
Line's good. Needs to curl some. Pull if you can. Pull. Hurry. Come on, Don.
This is great curling ice.
Come on.
It's running about 24
Hard.
seconds. Got
Yeah,
good
hard.
movement at the end
Hard.
from the
Hard.
hot line
Hard.
into the house.
Come on. It'll finish. Come on.
Ideal brushing ice.
Hard, Don. Come on, every inch. Hard. Here it comes. Harder. Huh.
Okay.
Dang.
Martin was telling us that he's very pleased to be playing in
was all right, too.
such a large crowd, and he said, I might be the only person from Edmonton that's ever been cheered
Have to
for.
cut her
in
down,
Calgary.
Hey,
Cut the ice down.
a little bit.
Well, you know, you'll love to throw a draw or a guard the very first hand, because if you're throwing a guard, you know you're protecting something that you have in the house.
Gee.
But getting the draw
Didn't
weight is
finish hard
very
at all.
important.
Hog line.
A little mystified by the fact that the stone did not finish.
Remember? Lots of weight.
Whoa!
Good luck.
Whoa!
Whoa. Yeah.
Yep!
Hard. Yeah. Hard. Real hard.
Harder! No.
Oh, boy, what a good shot that is first hand. That rock was moving at the end, and he just squeezed by the guard and actually hit and rolled a bit to the open side.
Throw, Vic. Moved hard.
Yeah, same as yesterday.
Yeah. Even, you know, you had probably a little off.
Good bumper. More than good bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always checking. Good bumper. I was a little off. You have to establish your takeout weight.
These would know normal.
The ideal situation in curling that all the players throw the same takeout weight. Therefore, it makes ice reading very, very simple.
Whoa!
But if one guy's throwing hard, the other guy's throwing soft, you're actually reading two different sheets of ice.
Hard! Rudy!
No.
It's a tough roll to get it behind that corner guard. Both were looking for it, and neither came up with it.
The stone of Kevin Martin fully exposed. Peters will try to hit and roll out to retain last rock advantage into N2. People will suggest that Vic Peters is one of the better strategists in the game.
Oh, he has a great curling mind. He's a great strategist from the standpoint he'll gamble a lot because he knows he has a lot of faith in the way he throws last rock, and so he throws a lot of guards up. He knows and understands the game. He knows the angles. Kevin Martin is a little bit more straightforward. They're so good at playing race takeouts and double kills. They don't get into a lot of strategy.
Shot, Vic.
And Vic Peters will hit and roll out. And the man who was best during the week of round-robin play retains last rock advantage into N2.
Jobs. That's the most important issue in people's minds today. And I think the most effective way to create new jobs is through small business.
At CIBC,
I know you'll get it.
we've committed $100 million to a small business.
The Labatt Brier, live on CBC. Brought to you by Labatt. Good Things Brewing. By AT&T. In a world of long distance, there is only one true choice. By Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. Seeing beyond. And by Ford Trucks. Go where you've never gone before.
Welcome back to the Canadian Airlines Saddledome in Calgary. These two teams, Manitoba and Alberta, have played a lot of games, have thrown a lot of rocks to get to this stage. And number 2 of the Labatt Brier final, and there's a lot at stake, as the winner will go on to represent Canada at the World Championships in Bern, Switzerland next month. And the winner will also get an automatic berth in the Olympic playdowns slated for Brandon, Manitoba in November.
Hey?
Well, you know, a very simple hit and roll out by Vic Peters in the first end doesn't seem like much of a shot, but let me tell you, it's very important when you get to this caliber of play. Because you still maintain the advantage of last rock, and you never want to take a point when you have last rock. You try and score 2. That's what you want to do.
And on this second end, the game could be on as Vic Peters calls for a corner guard.
Exactly the same format as the first end. Martin throws one up on the center line, albeit a little bit off.
Right here, guys.
And Vic throws up the corner. And what's going to happen is that if Vic throws up the corner, Martin's going to come around the center guard because that's where he wants to congest the area in the 4-foot to make it very difficult for the Manitoba team to score 2 in the 4-foot area.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Good shot.
Let's wait.
Not much doubt that playing in their home province, the Alberta team is the crowd favorite. When they were introduced and marched onto the ice, quite a roar went up from this capacity crowd of 17,000 plus.
Line's good. Line's nice for weight. Hurry. Hurry for line. Hurry for line. Hurry hard. Hurry. Come on. Come on. Good.
You can't come any closer to the guard and get past than Don Bartlett just did.
Well, he's a seasoned veteran, you know, and that's the type of lead you need. You have to put the center guard up in the right position, and then you have to get the next one around the center guard in front of the tee line. Was that close or what? Good brushing, good judging by Kevin Martin.
You may have heard the crowd reaction. They have the benefit of being able to watch our replays on the Jumbotron. And a lot of these curling spectators might insist in the future that no event be staged in a building without a Jumbotron.
Oh, it's great. Absolutely great.
I don't think we were playing a dead back.
Now it's going to be the Vic Peters team, a change from their playoff game. They're going to have to play the raised takeouts from the front of the house. Whereas in the playoff game, it was Alberta that was doing it.
Interesting how Rudy Ramcharan became a member of this Kevin Martin rink. He and Kevin have been friends for a long time. They were on a plane flying back from Toronto to Edmonton, and Rudy said, during the entire flight, I said, when are you going to ask me to curl with you? And he said, finally. Kevin said,
weight's good.
Okay, I give in. You can curl with us. And here he is in a national final.
He wore him down. He absolutely wore him down.
Oh. Right off. Oh.
That's a beautiful curling shot.
And you can hear the chants of Rudy. This young man has become very popular with the curling crowd here in Calgary.
Pull off. Okay, clip that.
If Chris Neufeld can hit
Just a little
the
off.
C's, and he can make the double. He may lose a shooter.
Well, ideally, a little roll behind that corner guard would be just perfect.
Real hard.
Gotta go hard on this one. Looked like he turned it a bit.
Quick.
Real hard. Keep her going. Keep her going. Good turn. A little wide. Yeah. Edge of the rock.
Denny prefers the out turn anyway. But it took off big time, and I think he just got it started. What I mean by getting started, that he comes out, instead of it releasing it cleaned on, he kind of turns his hand inward motion. It's like you're asking your wife for $5. Turns it in, and the rock takes off right away.
Okay. Line's good.
Your wife only asked for $5.
Okay. Whoa then. Line's good. So just die if it will. Just short.
They want this one out in
Let her
front.
stop. Oh. Line's perfect. Let her stop.
That's precise curling.
Kevin and Don having some fun with
This side onto here.
chant of Rudy.
Peel weight.
Peel.
Yeah.
Well, if he hits it correctly, he might be able to get all 3 of them here. Look what turn.
Right off.
Look what turn he's going to now, the out turn.
Yeah, hard.
How's that? I told you he prefers the outturn. There it is. Bang, bang, bang.
Chris Neufeld, known to his teammates as Denny, with a triple takeout.
Look at this. He absolutely hit it in the correct spot. One onto the other, and spilled them all out of there. And that was the danger of Rudy's rock coming in just maybe a foot too far.
Both teams play the run back so well that the tight guards do hurt them a lot. Something long is a little harder to play.
That's why I said at the top of the show that Peters is going to get some rocks in behind the guards. He's got to make sure there's good separation between the guards and the rocks in the house. Give it a little bit more ice between them so that there's not that danger of making doubles and triples.
These teams make the run back look so darn easy. It's such a hard shot.
Hard.
Well, those run backs were almost routine for the Alberta rink in the playoff game, the contest against Manitoba, the 1-2 battle on Friday night.
Well, we'll see if Vic wants to play
straight draw,
defense or offense. And here he's going to the offense.
Good here.
You know, he could hit that one in the center. And it's very difficult for Alberta to get a rock in there, but he's going after him right away. Now, this is a good point of getting the rock in deep. Get it half buried so that they don't
have
a good chance of running it back.
Lot of room.
Guns.
Lot of room.
Yep.
Room.
Room, Phil.
Lot of room.
He yelled hard. A lot of room, and then they're yelling hard for line. Now they got to go with that one. A little bit deeper. Beautiful shot.
We talked about how Rudy Ramcharan talked Kevin Martin into adding him to the team. After last year's playdowns in Manitoba, it was Vic Peters who called Dan Carey and asked him to come back and rejoin the team.
Well, this is an excellent call by Kevin Martin. He's actually playing the Manitoba rock onto the Manitoba rock in the house. But if that doesn't work out for him and Don Walchuk hits this rock on the high side, he'll at least remove two guards. As opposed to just hitting his own straight back.
Hard.
He'll do that one inside.
And Vic Peters is able to take the Alberta Stone out of the back of the 12. Manitoba still lies 1.
Dude, that's terrible.
Yes, that's the worst one I've seen Don Walchuk throw this week.
Front ring, guys. Take here.
What do you think for ice?
Yeah?
Yeah, that's lots.
Now, also at the top of the show, we said that Manitoba, to prevent the doubles by Alberta that they're so capable of making, they have to get good separation between the shot rock and the second shot rock. They can't set up any doubles.
Lots of room.
Lots. Okay, we can't line it up.
Whoa.
Hard then.
Back.
Whoa.
Back.
You can't line it up was what Vic Peters said, a reference to the possibility of a double.
Every inch. Every inch. Well, not through. Okay. That'll work.
Well, by taking it back, what they're doing is eliminating the angle, the easy double if they hit half a rock.
I did, eh? Okay.
The only trouble with going back there
watch.
is now Kevin Martin can hit and roll behind the guard and in front of the second shot rock.
But they said I threw more.
Okay.
I thought I threw the same, but
It's just like practice or a little cleaner than practice?
that's maybe a little quicker than practice.
Wow.
I'm sure we stick around here.
And that's something important. You heard Dan Carey talking to Vic. He was saying the front end told him that he threw a little more. The sweepers, or the brushers, not only have to be judging the weight of the rock, but they have to be able to tell the person who threw it as to the type of weight they delivered.
Hard.
Absolutely.
Real hard.
Other way. Whoa.
I don't mind this.
Yeah, okay.
Blue's hard. I mean, nose isn't bad either, right?
Right. But we don't want to roll part way.
No, I know. Yeah, but I don't want to go over roll either. Nose is fine.
Okay. What are you throwing?
Nick Peters wants to come down here, and if he gets a roll, he doesn't want to roll any further than this, but in behind that guard. He doesn't want to roll away over to this area here and allow Kevin Martin to come down on top of this one at the back.
This may hang. Then we go the other way.
They're just concerned about the ice.
It's curled, right.
Vic said to the front end, this one may hang.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
That one's going to move big time on him because he got it inside the center line.
Lean on it. Whoa. Whoa. Roll it, Denny. Roll it. Roll it. Roll it right over.
Well, good hit and roll, but now the angle is almost perfect for a half a rock
Double as hard as we could.
double takeout. And if you're going to do that, you can see the separation. Lots of separation between those two rocks. But he hits a half rock. Even if he rolls over in front of it, doesn't make the double kill.
Either a double or hitting. If I hit and roll on top of it.
That's the strength of Martin's game, the ability to make those double kills. I knew a guy back in 1970 used to do that.
He used to do this a lot. But the key is, if he ever misses a couple, he sometimes get a little frustrating.
Oh. Hard. Whoa. Hard. Hard.
Look at this. Look at this.
Absolutely gorgeous curling shot. You know, we mentioned it twice. You have to get set. You can allow him the angles, and that's exactly what happens. He hits half a rock, comes right over, and makes a perfect double. That was the danger of Dan Carey going deep, and the angle being set up by Vic Peters. Beautiful curling shot.
See how? I think we hit it, eh?
Shot, Kevin.
And the thing about the Kevin Martin, when he does that, Don, like he gets on a high. If he makes those kind of shots, then he knows he can make the raised takeouts and the double kills, and he just keeps firing them. It just keeps making them better and better.
It's gonna curl. Anybody throw here?
Well, Mike,
When Peters asked the front end if it would curl here, did anybody throw here, he was referring to the practice prior to stepping onto the sheet of ice.
Well, yeah, crack! Hard! Clean!
Peters wants to hit and roll out. He wants to blank.
Easy!
And he will. After the fine double by Martin, Peters hits and rolls out. It's still scoreless. He's still got last rock.
Maybe you think only those fast lane types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Bill, Bob, I'm running late.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
So, cover for me during finger paints?
They're practically child's play.
Right, it's Science Day.
With Nokia's big screens, easy to find names and numbers, and sleek designs.
Coach, could you handle Sandbox for me? I'm like in a 4-lane parking lot. We're talking rest period before I get there. Oh, I forgot my show and tell.
So now we can all be in the fast lane. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
We make maple leaf wieners for Courtney, who will only eat Mr. Broccoli if he hasn't touched Mr. Gravy. We make maple leaf wieners for Tim, who says peas explode in his mouth. And for Caitlin, whose scrambled eggs must be shaped like little boats. Maple leaf wieners have a taste made especially for kids. For Kenny, who won't eat anything with sauce, and Jason, who won't eat anything without sauce, there will always be maple leaf.
It'd be so good to see you smile, the smile you wear. You shoot the breeze as if we never had a care. It'd be so great to hear your laughter coming through. Yeah, that's it, you know it's the least I can do. Yeah, it'd be so good.
When you fight tough, greasy pots and pans, you can take the gloves off. Introducing new Ivory Liquid. So new and different, it's now tougher on grease. Ivory's new grease-cutting formula cuts tough, stuck-on grease better than the leading green liquid, and it's still easy on hands. So you can fight tough grease with your bare hands and win. with new Ivory Liquid. Already in lemon.
Oh, hi. It's Midas days, and that's why we can't afford a complete commercial. We couldn't afford the whole screen. But, you know, what we saved, we're passing on to you. For a limited time, Midas will give you a computerized wheel alignment, plus balance all 4 wheels and rotate your tires, all for an amazing $39.95. They even inspect your brakes for free. What a deal. Okay, so you lean in and squint, and the commercial will look perfectly normal. Huh? Midas, the way it should be.
Oh, yeah, and offer ends March 29th.
At the Canadian Airlines Saddledome in Calgary at the Labatt Brier final, it's still scoreless through 2, but we've been treated to some excellent shot making through the first 2 ends from both teams. It looked as though Vic Peters might get 2 with last rock on the second, but any possibility of that was eliminated with the excellent across-house double by Kevin Martin. And that's the type of curling I think we're going to be treated to over the next 8 ends, or more.
That's right. Or more is right. There's not much to choose between these 2 teams. A break day decide the game, or who controls that last rock. And when you get down to the Canadian Championship, that's the way it should be. You snooze, you lose.
Don Bartlett, the lead for Alberta, was born in Gander, Newfoundland, still has relatives in Newfoundland, and he asked us to say hello to his grandfather, Bert Bartlett, in Corner Brook. He said he'll be glued to the television set all afternoon.
I'm sure he will. And it's not the first time he's seen Don on national television. He's been there many times. Great lead.
It's always amazing at the Brier level when you see the championship teams. The lead is a kind of a career lead person. They take the position and they know how important it is, and they play it so well. Often on other teams, as soon as you master lead, well, you want to skip.
That's right. It's a very demanding position these days.
Whoa, guys.
Well, Scott Grant, the lead for Manitoba, played in the Brier for Dave Smith in 1994 as a second.
Front ring.
But he is playing lead stones
Front ring.
for Vic Peters.
Now, this is a little bit different call by Vic Peters. Instead of throwing up a corner guard, he's going in around the center guard, and Scott Grant puts it in perfect. In front of the tee line, behind the guard, and that's where you want to be.
I like this change for him, too, rather than putting up the corner guard and allowing Martin to get in there first and then having to attempt the run back. Beat them in there.
Well, he's mixing up the shots for Bartlett. And that's forms a part of strategy. Change the shots around, go from the outside in, the inside out, behind the guards, the corner guards, and that's what you do to try and manipulate the end in your favor.
We're checking out what draw weight is running. A lot of the curlers use stopwatches to determine just how fast the ice is. And we're measuring from the first hog line to the tee line, or to stop. Has been running about 24 seconds throughout the week.
Hurt.
Absolutely perfect.
And that would be about 24 seconds to the tee line, and that's another good shot by Bartlett.
Martin asked him to come down on top of the Manitoba stone, which he did.
Same weight.
Nice thing for Manitoba and Scott Grant is that those 2 rocks are kind of staggered, so if Scotty can maybe hook one around there.
Yeah.
Makes it a tougher run back for Alberta.
Hard. Where is it?
There. You gotta go.
Lot of room.
Gotta go.
Keep it going. A lot of room. Gonna work.
Boy, Scotty.
Good shot.
It's looking as though we're going to have quite a few rocks in play on this third end.
Well, there's 4 being thrown and 4 in play.
Good shot.
And 4 perfect shots by the leads.
Don't mind this. Bump this?
No. I don't mind that. Why? Top moat?
All right.
Oh.
Just through.
You hear Kevin yelling down to Rudy Ramcharam, just through. because the rock runs very straight for a long time, and if they start brushing it right away, it'll definitely stay straight and maybe curl just a bit at the end.
Hurry. Hard.
Real hard. Back line. Real hard.
Hear him yelling back line. That's the kind of weight he has.
Well, he's got a piece of his own, and the shooter will roll on through.
Well, that's not all that bad. It would have been nicer if he could have hooked around and made contact with the shot rock, but the way he chipped that rock, it's now on an angle and fairly wide open and accessible with the intern.
I like this.
I don't know if it gets the back one.
The nice thing about the way they're lined up there, if they hit that yellow one, they will not make contact with the one on the edge of the forefoot.
It was the big shot you'll recall on N2
lot of weight.
by
Go
this
high,
man,
guys.
Chris Neufeld.
Ton of weight. Whoa, whoa.
Clean.
Ton of weight.
He got Manitoba out of trouble.
Whoa, not too close.
Lots of weight. Whoa.
Clean it.
Lots of weight.
Whoa, Scotty, right off.
Whoa.
Right off. Yep. Yep. Hard then. Real hard. Keep her going. Keep her going. Keep her going. Bite it, bite it, bite it. Oh, okay. Good shot.
Boy.
That is a good shot. Because that can be used later to chip it over onto that yellow one, and it offers a little bit of protection for the one in the forefoot. And you hear Kevin saying, should we bail a little? And I think,
Huh? Yeah.
and I think that's exactly right. He has to bail it. Yeah. Kevin looking at lining him up to see whether if he makes contact.
Normal weight. I think they both go.
It's going to be very, very close. He has to hit it high on the outside if he's going to.
It will go, he said?
Yes, he said it will go. Yeah.
And even if both don't go, he's going to be leaving at least one yellow out in front, maybe two for a raise back on another attempt for Walchuk.
Hurry.
Very smooth delivery by Rudy Ram.
Hard.
Boy, they got to go hard on this one. Is right to get it by the guard.
Hard. Good.
Oh, look at this. Oh.
He just slid that red stone across the face of the rock in the forefoot. We were talking to Rudy. He was born in Trinidad. We said, do you think many people there know what curling's all about?
He says he's always trying to explain it.
And Rudy actually had to hit that rock a little bit thinner.
Great chance here, though, for Chris to
Oh, right off.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Hard.
Wow.
Yep. Whoa.
There's the roll.
Is that any good? Gorgeous shot.
You know, it's absolutely amazing. You watch these curlers move rocks a foot one way or the other. They're even more precise. They move them an inch, half an inch one way or the other.
Well, that's why they're here. I mean, they play the angle so well. They know what weight they're throwing. They're always looking for the rolls or to put the rock in the best position possible to score two. And, you know, brushing makes such a big difference because brushers can either hold the rock on line or pick up their brushes and let it curl.
That's what I've always felt the biggest difference between the men's and women's game is. One is the big weight the men are able to throw, and the second thing would be the brushing from the men. It's so strong.
Don Walchuk attempting the raise takeout, but it slides through harmlessly. Manitoba still lies two.
I don't think Don would be very happy with that because I think he wanted to make at least move one of those rocks out of the forefoot area.
Okay, it's like 4.5, eh?
But the way they were staggered made it so difficult.
Well, you don't want to set up the double here.
Where's it?
You heard them yell, you got to go hard.
Hard. Real hard. Got to close the hole. Real hard. Every inch. Every inch.
Close the hole and get it over on top of that yellow one.
Okay, all right. That's good.
Well, you know what shot's coming now, don't we?
But Colleen, what you said about the brushing of the men versus the women,
Could
you
play
have
the red one
heard
straight back.
From time to time, the skips say when he's asking them to brush,
Can't play the yellow
lean
one.
on it. And boy, they really get down on that
straight
brush.
back or this. That's basically giving them 2, maybe 3. Let's play the red one straight back. Yeah.
Sure, the 2 male sweepers would have, you know, 70 pounds on most women, probably.
Yeah, throw one closer. You heard Don Walchuk say, I want to throw one close here.
Well, he's only curling 69% so far.
That's not the Don Walchuk we know. One big shot can get him out of the center. This is it.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Well, he got one of them.
That's an excellent shot. Boy, if he doesn't touch that back one, Alberta's in a lot of trouble this end.
Manitoba has last rock. Sorry, Don. So Martin is still in some difficulty.
Well, the nice thing for Manitoba is those 2 rocks out in front.
We can do a half and half. It's perfect.
A half and half. He means half in the rings and half behind the guards.
Whoa, looks heavy. Whoa, right on.
Whoa.
Where is it?
Whoa.
Where is it?
Whoa.
In?
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
No, let her hook as much as she can. Hook. Let her hook all the way. Let her hook. Yep, now finish it. Hard, Denny. Hard, 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 Scotty. Keep her going. Okay, there, boy.
Well, that's a good shot. There's your half and half. Half behind the guards and in the 12-foot.
Good watch, guys. Perfect.
And Carey's wife, Mary, here watching the action and applauding the shot.
Try.
The only shot that Alberta has is to run that first red one. He can't get enough of either rock to stick around. So to avoid
Just
against
pick one out, I guess.
Scoring 3, that's all he has is a pick out. And this was all set up with a great hit and roll by Chris Neufeld behind those guards.
Yeah!
Hard.
Real hard!
Real hard, Donnie.
Hard! Hard!
Oh, he can't get by.
Whoop.
Jeez.
He threw it dead inside. As soon as he let it go, he yelled hard. But he's opened it up.
Sorry. Jesus Christ.
He just touched that Yellowstone out front.
That's what I gave you, Dan.
Okay. Was I a little tight?
No, you weren't tight.
Okay.
Four?
More?
Four?
Oh, 4, 4 and a half.
What do you guys like? I don't like the bump. Danny likes the bump.
This is what he
Danny
wants
likes
to play
bump or
right
six
here.
rock up.
He doesn't want to bring that rock in too tight and
playing
allow
intern
Kevin
draw,
Martin
right?
maybe to make a double
He can
or
vary
even a
with
triple.
intern draw.
So for him to play the guard, it's an ideal shot. Then he's looking
I
at
guess if I
scoring
guard, I
3.
won't have anything to stop back.
What happens if we bump it? Can we set up a triple?
Yeah, we can set up a double easy because I bump it high and then it's. What do you think, Danny? Give him the draw. I'm thinking just a, a tightish guard. I don't mind enticing him to maybe play the run back. Get that stuff out of it. You know what I mean? What's speed? 4?
He says, what's the speed? 4? That means it's 24 seconds.
Line's good.
Okay, clean.
Line's good.
Way out there.
Clean it.
Oh, way out there.
Clean it.
Whoa, not in, Scotty.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Line's perfect.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. Whoa. Shot.
Timeless.
Shot.
Absolutely a perfect guard, which is one of the toughest shots in curling because the rock is dying and it's curling. And he leaves just the wide in-turn for Kevin Martin. And the interesting thing, Don, is that yesterday in the final against New Brunswick, this turn ran very, very straight. And I'm looking down at where Don Walchuk has the brush. Unless it's changed a bit and it's curling a little bit more today, that's a lot of ice.
Not only do you have to be thinking as the skip about your own shot, you have to be thinking about the opponent. And when Vic Peters settled down in the hack, he said we'll leave him the draw.
A lot of room.
If we play the perfect guard.
Close.
And then we might be able to get 3.
Whoa.
Wow.
You'll see he's well by the guard. Now it's starting to...
Come on, curl.
You heard him say curl. He's got lots of weight, though. He may be out the back door.
Well, it's going to be a free draw for 3. He has to be fully inside the 12-foot circle to pick up 3 on this third end.
Boy, the advantage of last rock. And the advantage, that's one of the perks of going 11-0 and finishing first. You have last rock. In a situation like this, Vic liked 2 ends, and it's definitely played off for him.
Let us not forget that in other matches, Kevin Martin was down 4-0, 5-0, and came back to win.
I had to go wider than anybody else. I thought it'd be a little heavier.
It's never heavier up there.
No, well, it wasn't practice, eh? Right? It was quite heavy to start.
But now it's switched the game, whereas Alberta loves to play the running game when they get up and everything else. Now they're going to have to finesse it. And for Vic Peters, who likes to finesse it, are now going to have to play the running game.
A chance for 3 for Vic Peters of Manitoba.
Real hard.
Boy, they got to go hard on this one.
It'll go.
Every inch. Keep her going.
Keep her going.
Keep her going, Danny. Keep her
Keep her
going.
going.
Keep her going.
Come on, guys.
Keep her going hard every inch.
Keep her going.
Every inch.
Keep her going.
Every inch. Every inch.
What great brushing.
And it was brushing that produced the 3 for Manitoba on this third end. Last rock advantage pays off. We'll be back in 30 seconds with a look at the grassroots of curling.
Oh, hi. It's Midas days, and that's why we can't afford a complete commercial. We couldn't afford the whole screen. But, you know, what we saved, we're passing on to you. For a limited time, Midas will give you a computerized wheel alignment, plus balance all 4 wheels and rotate your tires, all for an amazing $39.95. They even inspect your brakes for free. What a deal. Okay, so you lean in and squint, and the commercial will look perfectly normal. Huh? Midas, the way it should be.
Oh, yeah, and offer ends March 29th.
This is the first time the Brier has been held at the Saddledome here in Calgary, and it marks a new trend in men's curling. The game is going upscale. Big arenas, big crowds, big money. And while men's curling is endeavoring to maneuver itself into a major league status in the 90s, the game is still rooted and connected in small curling clubs across the country.
Welcome to the grassroots, CB Alberta, just west of Calgary, a small town with a big appetite for curling.
Population of CB is about 80 people. We have 1 sheet of ice here in CB. The building here was constructed here out of old construction shacks back in '49, I believe. They sent us the Labatt Brier emblem with the mail, and like Scott Tournament of Hearts, I got those and I put them in the ice, and I put that in the ice whenever we get advertising and stuff like that. And always kind of adds to the looks of the place.
The population of Calgary is approximately 800,000 people. The Saddledome was constructed in the early 1980s as the main venue for hockey and figure skating for the 1988 Olympics. The seating capacity in the Saddledome for our event here this 10 days is, if we were to sell every seat available to us, would be 18,761 seats.
Our seating here is, well, we got some bus seats here, about 10 or 12 maybe, in the viewing area.
There's no bad seats in the Saddledome. There are pretty well every seat is a good seat. The attendance has been great. We set a record attendance for the Brier of we're about 205,000 right now for the 9 days.
Our men's spiel usually runs the first week of March. There are 16 teams. It takes us a week, take Monday to Sunday to get it done.
The Brier was started by people curling in small communities who wanted to get a little challenge to play somebody from another community. And that's kind of the way that curling has developed, and I think that's what's made the Brier what it is. You could start and curl in a one-sheet facility like CB, and you could make it to the Labatt Brier, which is the premier curling event in Canada.
Well, we're ready to start the fourth end, and watching the action is the ice maker from CB, Terry Cummings. And the ice maker here in the Saddledome is Shorty Jenkins. And he has all the computerized equipment to work with in preparing the ice surface for the Labatt Brier as we get underway with the opening delivery of N4 from Scott Grant. The Manitoba lead. Manitoba in front 3-0.
The only problem with playing at CB, you're always on an outside sheet.
Yep.
You played in a rink that had only one sheet.
Nipawin, Saskatchewan. Barry Fry and I almost took the back of the rink out with the takeout. Big end for Manitoba that time. All set up with Chris Neufeld's great hit and roll. And the change in strategy by Big Peters, instead of throwing up the corner guard, going in first around the corner guard by Scott Grant, who made 2 perfect shots. That's how easy threes are scored.
You also have to look at the 2 ticks Alberta got in that end, plus Kevin with his draw attempt, perhaps not quite with the right ice or weight, and wonder, did the ice change from when they last had a game on Friday? It's the benefit Vic Peters had of being able to play in the semifinal yesterday, just to always know of any little changes to the ice.
There's one thing about curling ice. On ice like this, it is actually brusher's ice. So if you can throw it just to the top of the rings, your brushers will get it into the forefoot. But by throwing it heavy, the brushers can't do anything with it. It's gone.
Well, if you've just joined us, this is the 3rd consecutive year that Manitoba and Alberta have met in the playoff.
Come on, careful. Tons of room.
It's good. It's good.
It's going to need it. So let it work. Right here is good, Dan. Yeah, we got it. Just front ring.
Now we got to get it.
Yep.
Finish it. Hard. Come on, finish it.
Okay, that's a good spot. Shot.
In 1995, Kerry Burtnick, en route to a championship, beat Martin 9-3 in a semifinal. Last year in Kamloops, in the playoff game, Jeff Stoughton won 6-5 and then stole one on an extra end in the final for an 8-7 win over Kevin Martin.
We saw during yesterday's semifinal when Manitoba had built the 3-point lead after 5 ends, just how hard it is to defend a 3-point lead with the free guard zone. Now that you're able to get those 2 rocks out in front, you're not able to hit them until the 4th rock at the end, you're always able to come back. No lead is safe.
There's another of those rubs.
All right. Oh, and the bad thing for Donnie Bartlett there is not only did he touch the guard, but he pushed the Manitoba rock in behind the center guard. But you know, this is a type of game that is not very familiar
Nose is fine,
to Martin. You'll see here, he just touches the guard, rolls over,
little off,
touches the rock closer in behind the one in the center. As I was saying, Martin's not used to playing this kind of catch-up game, playing the finesse shots, the come-around shots, the corner freezes.
Wow.
They're used to freewheeling.
Clean.
Not that they can't play it.
Well, no, let it work. Right on. Yep, hold her on the head. Attaboy. Shot. Good weight.
Well, this is the rubber match between these 2 teams here at the Brier. But in games they have played this year, Kevin Martin has a 3-1 edge.
Yes.
Freeze.
And Kevin's biding his time here. He's got some rocks in play, can see half a rock around, and he's just going to try and put his rock in position, hoping for a jam from Peters, driving one onto the other one, so they can score his 2.
Hurry. Weight's close. Okay.
Lots of weight.
Good. Mine's good. Weight's there. Mine's nice. Weight's there.
Weight's there.
Okay, hold it. Oh, freeze it. Mine's perfect.
Come on, you gotta go for weight. Right up.
They bring it in to become second shot. An outstanding curler is Rudy Ramcharan.
Which double?
Don't try him on the golf course either. He's a 3 handicap.
No, not anywhere across.
It's got this, right?
Okay, peel the guard.
That's the shot. Run the front one off. You hit it right on the nose. You'll put it through the opening.
Cross the face a bit.
could pick our own. Yeah, I know.
Normal hit.
Just make sure you come across the face of it.
Okay.
Nose hit's good. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Hard.
Real hard.
Whoa.
Real hard. Real
Yep.
hard.
Keep her going, guys.
Real hard.
Keep her going. Keep her
Real
going.
hard.
That's a good shot. He set up the double on the left-hand side, but at least
Shot, Danny.
he made some movement and got the rocks off
Danny.
the center.
Yeah, because if you throw the
Well, some
guard
people
up,
might wonder if Peters is concerned about removing his own stone in the forefoot.
No, not at all. The less rock
Yeah,
he
that
has in
one
play, the better it is for him. The
You're
more
right,
rocks
right.
he has in play, the more chances for Alberta maybe hit and roll behind cover, corner freeze. Vic's just trying to hold him to one here, and of course
Hurry.
Alberta's trying to score two.
It's such simple strategy, isn't it?
Threw it good too, Rude.
a little off.
If he hits and stays right there, it's not bad, but Vic looking for a little roll to the inside.
Yep, yep, yep.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa, all right. Whoa.
Right off.
No. No. Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. I got her. I got her.
Keep going. That's good. That's good.
It's a good shot. It takes away the corner guard a lot.
Absolutely. And that's where Kevin wants to go, around the corners, because he's got two guards out in front, one at the top of the 12-foot. That's where he wants to go, so it was a good roll by Dan Carey.
Huh?
Good.
If you make this, he's going to go straight back. He's going to run it back. Then you're in deep. Yep.
Well, that's the danger of going around there.
Hit and roll.
Off of which one? That
Either
one?
one.
Can't.
That one? No?
You mean this?
Yeah.
Won't be in the house.
Huh? Oh.
Oh.
The reason why Walchuk doesn't like the straight come around here is that Manitoba's just going to have a 2-foot run back to go to.
Exactly. And then they'll have one guarded in the 4-foot area if he doesn't bury this one.
Well, the runbacks by Alberta were the undoing of the Manitoba team in their playoff game.
Room.
Good.
Okay. Got room. Stay close.
It's a funny thing about runbacks. When you're making them,
Wait for it.
nothing seems easier, and when you're missing them, nothing seems harder.
No, it's not curling.
They are a very difficult shot.
Heard him say it's not curling. It's starting to come a little bit now, but he passed the guard by a good foot. Nice weight, but no direction.
As a team, Manitoba is curling 86%, Alberta's 72.
She'll come around there. That close to center.
Whoa. 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 Right off.
Whoa.
One more weight.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dan
No,
Carey
it
would
can't
like to
go
get...
the other way.
Whoa.
Okay.
They wanted some roll on that shooter, some action on the shooter.
They wanted a little bit to
Yeah, oh,
roll
yeah.
to the inside as opposed to the outside where he rolled
Even on the
to.
nose is perfect. Can't get through.
What Peters is trying to do
Yeah, good
is
throw.
block off the 4-foot.
A little more weight, eh?
That's
More
why you
weight,
heard him
yeah.
say,
And on the nose is just great.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
More over the top a little, because
Yeah.
it's double. He's got to make the double.
Oh, I know I could be on the
Flop
nose.
open. Time this.
That's how exact these guys are. He only rolled 2 inches, but they want it right on the beat.
well, not only that, he leaves maybe a little bit of an opening for Don Walchuk to draw through, so that's how precise
Back
they
eight's
are.
real nice. Hurry.
Whoa, for line.
You need a tick or no?
Yeah.
Hurry.
What they're doing is looking for the rub now because the...
No, we don't have it. Wow. That's good, though.
I guess that's good.
Good job.
Kevin Martin thought initially they might have to rub off one of those red stones to get into the rings.
Well, you see they're brushing now to get the rub to go in behind the corner guard, but it curls a little bit too much.
Nice weight.
You see how much room there is to go between those two rocks. And that's a pretty good shot.
4.
The tick's a better shot.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
The tick's a better shot, actually.
If Vic plays the same shot and gets the tick, he'll be in the edge of the 8 foot and maybe shot rock.
But the tick is great. Tick we're in behind, right? But I'm icing for the hole, basically. A little less, Dan.
So he can hit that one in the
I got a
center.
little more weight than I do last one here.
Going across the face and drive it to the right-hand side, or he can hit it real thin and the shooter will go to the left-hand side. So he's got a lot of options here. Or he can go through the center and freeze the one in the back of the 8 foot.
Well, we'll see how the official score Peters with his stone. He's at 100% right now.
Hard. It's always nice when you've got a plan A or plan B, though.
I'll tell you what he can't do. He can't hit the one on the right-hand side, and they are brushing hard.
Real hard. Lean on real hard. Keep her going. Keep her going.
Quick, hard.
Keep her going, Denny.
Okay. Shot.
Just got it started a bit. You got in a different path than Walchuk, and it curled. Once you get inside the center line.
Man.
Okay, Vic. Right.
Should have hit that right away.
We're shot rock.
Now they got roll behind there.
Okay.
Probably the difference in weight that Walchuk threw 5 feet deeper, too.
He'd like to come down here and hit this one and maybe just roll into this area here. The only trouble with that, of course, he's exposing that back one. He might even want to play a little bit of an inside roll and cover that. But I would think he'd want a little bit of separation here. By rolling to one side, he may jam it.
Hard.
Hard.
Clean.
Real hard.
Pull. Hard.
Hard.
Pull.
Hard. Hard.
Off. Yep.
He's got the inside roll.
Whoa.
Oh, great shot. Great shot.
His parents, Bev and Ab Martin, like that one.
Look, they picked up the brushes, and you see he just sneaked by that front one. Good 2-3 inches, but the key was hitting it on the inside and flopping.
Okay.
I may not catch it back.
No, I think you got to just play it quiet.
Yeah, just like quiet bumper.
I like bumper.
Remember that hit I threw did nothing here. You can't overthrow this.
I know, but bumper's it's a long way to roll. That's all I'm saying. The quiet bumper and it hits and rolls right here.
It's not even second then, yeah. Will it be second? I mean, can we get it in here?
Well, I think you can get it full 8 foot, don't you? Then he just got waxed this, and he's got his 2 easy too. If you glue to the back one.
I know, but it's hard. You touch that, he's got 3.
Yeah.
I can't see any of that.
Okay. Bumper?
Quiet bumper.
Okay.
When you score 3, one thing you don't want to do is give the opposition 3 right back.
Well, that's
What do you
exactly
guys like?
right.
I'm not sure of this ice here. That's the problem with the shot.
He's trying to come down here and hit this one and get a lot of action and roll into this area here. He doesn't know whether he can get
maybe
to
they lose better shot.
8 foot.
I don't know the ice here. I know. If I touch the red one here, he's got 3 as well. You think this ice is all right? Quiet bumper.
You hear him saying quiet bumper.
Yeah, he hit less. He just had back ring.
If he hits what he sees, he'll get the roll.
That rock he rolled over, eh?
Are you surprised to hear him say he doesn't know the ice here?
Well, he just threw a couple of draws down there. The danger is he's going on the center line. Before he was just outside it, and the other time he was on the inside of it with that carry shot.
No! No, let it work!
Right 2 ends ago, too, he threw the blank here.
Close.
No!
Whoa! Whoa!
No!
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Did he stop in time?
I don't think so.
No, it just a turn at the end. He had a great shot.
Alberta lies 1 and has an opportunity to pick up a pair here on N4. And listen to the crowd support for Kevin Martin.
Oh, what a great try by Vic Peters, though. If he hits just a fraction more, he's got an excellent shot in behind a couple of guards. And by eliminating that rock, he kind of has opened up the path for Kevin Martin for a draw. It's a shame to see all those nice red ones in there, only one yellow one, and the guy's going to score 2 on you. But a great hit and roll set this up for Kevin Martin.
No, line's good. Line's clean. Hurry. Okay.
It's good.
Room.
Clean.
Room. Room. Room.
Oh, he looks
Can't
fine.
bump this back one.
Clean.
Well, Kevin Martin and his Alberta rink, to the delight of this capacity crowd in the Saddledome, bounce back after giving up 3 on 3. They score 2 on 4, and it's a 1-point game.
Well, great control of his draw weight as opposed to the last end. He went to the back of the rings. This one is just on the edge of the forefoot. And a great draw by Kevin Martin.
Everyone anticipated this would be a great Brier final. So far, it has been.
To the Ford hotshot goes this 98 Mercury Mystique GS worth $20,000. The Briers big shooters attempt 6 shots for a maximum of 5 points each. And the title would come down to 2 men. Skip Mike Coulter of Northern Ontario with his second last shot, trying to hit and roll to the button. His sweepers hurry hard. He needs a bite of the button, and he's there for 5 points. That leaves Peter Gallant, the third for Prince Edward Island out of the Charlottetown Curling Club. This is his final shot. He must make the double takeout or it's all over. He gets 1, but can't hold his shooter. Congratulations are in order to Mike Coulter. You are in the driver's seat.
Hi, Mike. On behalf of Ford of Canada, may I present to you the keys of your 1998 Mercury Mystique as the winner of the Hot Shot competition.
Fantastic. Thanks very much.
Mike Coulter is the Ford Hot Shot.
Look, I invented something amazing. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. Powerful blue detergent plus stain-fighting chlorine bleach. 2 cleans in 1 for up to 4 months. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. 2 cleans in 1.
Your car is a high-precision instrument. Take it to AutoPro. With qualified personnel and state-of-the-art equipment, it's the expert on brakes, front-wheel drive, steering, suspension, and mufflers. All protected by AutoPro's national warranty. AutoPro, the largest network of car care professionals.
Now that we've added even more flights to the Canadian shuttle, you can fly between Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver over 90 times every business day. Now that's a frequent flyer program. The Canadian shuttle, the way you want to fly.
Look, I invented something amazing. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. Powerful blue detergent plus stain-fighting chlorine bleach. 2 cleans in 1 for up to 4 months. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. 2 cleans in 1.
Heading to the 5th end of this Labatt Brier final at the Canadian Airlines Saddledome in Calgary, it's Manitoba 1 up on Alberta. Manitoba looking for its 3rd straight Canadian championship. And Kevin Martin appearing in his 3rd straight Canadian championship, looking to put a halt to the run of the Buffalo.
Don Walchuk came up to me during the break and said, see what I mean? If I miss my shots, we score deuces. When I make my shots, we're giving up threes. He's a little superstitious.
Yeah. That was a good end of curling. And as I said earlier, the big shot, of course, was the hit and roll by Kevin Martin, set it up that end. But just a matter of all the rocks in play, that enabled them to score 2. If they're just throwing them up and down, they wouldn't have had that chance.
Nope. Nope. It's grabbing.
Hard. Really hard. Really hard. Come on. Really hard. Come on. Arsenal. Okay. Come on. Right up. Right up.
It's grabbing. Grab. Like I'm showing. I'm throwing the rock pretty hard today. Feels like throwing it harder, like that draw to the back 8 there is too hard.
You're saying he's throwing it harder. I don't know whether it's hard. Getting a little bit sticky.
Okay, clean then. Easy. Right here.
I think Peters is one up.
Hard. All of the tee, guys.
Playing the 5th end.
That's a good
In
shot.
the 3rd end, he went around the center guard. Now he's going to the corner. He's going to say, well, I don't mind Blackie's flanking this end, but I'm going to score 2. I'll maybe go to the corner first. Start out this way.
Yesterday, the strategy, though, you'll remember, didn't quite work because New Brunswick was able to come back and just start burying them around that yellow one and outscoring them in the final 5 ends, 4-1.
Hard! Hard!
Well, Vic Peters in the 2 playoff games he has appeared in has gone to an extra end both times, losing to Kevin Martin, defeating James Grattan yesterday in the semifinal.
Well, a little bit of a judgment error there by Kevin Martin. I think the rock just took off a little bit on him. You see, and he had to hit and stick there because now Vic Peters can run the center guard off.
That's what Scott Grant, the Manitoba lead, is being asked to do.
Yep.
Well, Peters up 1. He's got the control point and the hammer, so he doesn't want to take too many chances until he's really forced into it.
Shot. Throw, Scott.
Scott Grant would love to keep these Brier titles in the family. His brother-in-law, Kerry Burtnick, was the 1995 Canadian champion and the 81 champion as the youngest ever skip to win a Brier at 22.
Well, he'd have bragging rights for the Sunday dinners, I'll tell you that. But he's worked very hard in his game, Scotty. Every time I went down to Granite for lunch, he was there practicing and throwing rocks, the releases, and he just worked very hard at his game, and he deserves this.
Rudy Ramcharan, the second stone for Alberta, a relative newcomer to the national scene. He did play for Ken Hunka up in Edmonton in previous years.
Well, a little bit, but the one would go big, yeah.
He was a well-known curler in Western Canada, but he's never achieved the success he has playing second stone for Kevin Martin.
Yep. Yep. Clean. Clean. Go, Denny.
Oh, boy.
If you can. If you can.
An edge for Neufeld over Ramcharan at second stone.
Now, by going to the corner, and there was a center guard up by Vic Peters, that's exactly what he's playing for. Just to blank this in, maintain the advantage of last rock going
a little tighter
in the even ends.
And again, we see the importance of the lead helping to set up the end. As soon as Don Bartlett rolled out there, it allowed Vic to run up and peel off that corner guard. If Bartlett had stayed or even rolled behind the center, this would be a different end.
Yeah, they got to be fairly tight. We're not going to be able to use them too much.
Ball right off. Right off. Okay.
Oh, boy.
I get a kick the way Victor yells right off right away. Right off. Like he's really throwing it badly. And they make perfect shots. I guess he's just making sure.
Well, he and second Chris Neufeld have been longtime friends.
Tight to the rings.
Grew up as youngsters in Steinbach. And now they curled together, looking for a second Canadian championship.
Well, and Dan Carey has some very good customers in the Steinbach-Niverville area. And you hear Kevin Martin saying a little tighter to the rings. He doesn't want them so far out. And the reason for that, if he goes too far out, Manitoba may go around it and get the deuce that they worked very hard to get in the last end back very simple.
Nice shot, Don. Good spot.
Don Walchuk is a stockbroker with Moss Lawson, and Moss Lawson, one of the sponsors of this Alberta team, along with Sterling Crane and Waterloo Mercury Lincoln. And that's where Kevin Martin sells cars during the summer months.
This runs nice here, eh?
What if we could get a deal?
If he wins the Brier, you probably could. If the management agrees to it.
Oh, clean. Clean. Yep. Clean. Good shot.
These teams are so precise.
Well, if you watch them, they're running rocks off and they almost hit the rock the same size every time.
Many people thought that the outcome of this game might depend on how Carey and Walchuk curled. At the moment, Carey has a big edge.
Big edge.
This style of game always seems a little bit boring, but it's
Gotta be really tight.
just a good defense right now from Peters, just to be keeping it clean, not letting it junk up at all.
Is it in? Yeah, hurry then. Come on.
You heard Kevin Martin say, is it in? If it's in, he might as well take it to the button in case they miss. At least they'll be able to guard a rock on the button as opposed to leaving it in the 12-foot.
I always remember a comment, Colleen, and I'm sure you do as well, at the 1991 Brier, before the free guard zone, when Kevin Martin won. And it was a straight exchange of shots. Someone in the crowd yelled, boring, and an Alberta fan yelled, winning.
That's right. Well, we just had one fan yell it out right now. Now Carey doesn't have to peel it away. He can afford to stick around once it's in the rings.
Throw down.
Well, there's no question the free guard zone has added interest to the game of curling in that more rocks are in play on most ends. This is one of the exceptions for the entire week here in Calgary.
Yes, absolutely. Kevin Martin, he with a no swing delivery. The rock never leaves the ice. He's on target right away.
And really, it was Kevin that popularized this delivery when he started winning as a junior with it. Then other people started copying it pretty quickly. Other people were using it, but not with the kind of success he had.
Talking about juniors, we should wish best of luck to Colin Davison, who will be heading off to the World Championships.
He's got to roll a little ways.
He's looking after Kevin Martin's curling supply store.
In the house he's got to hit.
Well, Kevin is here.
He'll have a freebie with his last one.
And Meredith Doyle is representing Canada for the women, so she'll be heading off as well. Two strong teams for Canada competing at those World Juniors.
In Karazawa, Japan, and that's the site of the Olympic curling competition.
No. Oh, yeah. No. No.
Curling a full-fledged medal sport for the first time in 1998.
Right off. Roll her in, Danny.
Roll her, Danny. Roll it. Roll it. Good boy.
A little straighter there, I think, than yesterday, not?
Well, it was pretty straight there yesterday because I remember a couple that he was trying to hook in there against New Brunswick. Never moved at all. The nice thing for Vic is that it's moved a little bit over to the right-hand side.
Nice thing for Vic, too, is to have kind of one of these brainless ends that you don't have to think too hard after the last couple of ends with so many rocks. To have this freebie here. We always see a freebie end at one point of the game. Usually it's the first or second end.
Well, one of the reasons for what you term a freebie end is because the time clock, 73 minutes, pretty much dictates that one end be played, at least one end be played very quickly.
That's right. They brought time clocks in a couple of years ago. Both teams have 73 minutes aside to complete the game. The penalty, if you don't, is you lose the game if you go over time.
Think so?
Well, of course, towards the end of the game, the strategy gets a little bit more complex as the game gets tighter and everything else. So you take a lot more time deciding on the shots that may decide the outcome of the game.
And there's a look at the time clocks. Both teams with just over 40 minutes left to play. So
hard!
Takes about 7.5 minutes per end.
Real hard! Real hard!
Peters trying to blank, but he won't. The rock just catches a bite of the 12-foot, and Manitoba picks up a point, and at the midpoint leads by 2 in the Labatt Brier final.
The Canadian Curling Association appreciates, understands, and wishes to acknowledge the importance of local sponsorship to curling teams across Canada throughout the curling season. In an effort to recognize local corporate support of teams which have achieved the privilege of representing their province or territory at a Canadian Curling Championship, we are pleased to provide some deserving profile to their respective corporate supporter.
Jobs. That's the most important issue in people's minds today. And I think the most effective way to create new jobs is through small business.
At CIBC, I know you'll get it. We've committed $100 million to a small business job creation fund, providing small businesses with one-year loans at 1% below prime to create new jobs, jobs that provide security and stability.
Canada working. It's nice to know there's a bank that shares that same vision.
Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
It started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
I used to be able to feel the winter in my skin till April or May. For my skin, winter feels like forever.
You can get moisturizers in Olay's 2-in-1 moisturizing body wash.
But after just one shower, all I could feel all over was soft, smooth skin.
As it cleanses, it leaves more moisture in your skin than the leading beauty bar.
This could actually be my first winter without dry skin.
2-in-1 moisturizing body wash from Oil of Olay.
Life without body lotion is a definite possibility.
This is a map of back pain. This is a relief map for back pain. Extra strength Tylenol aches and strains. It puts back pain behind you.
How's the diarrhea? Did you take Imodium?
Yeah, I took Imodium.
Well,
It worked.
told you. Just one dose and bingo.
Imodium gablets. Fast relief, often with one dose.
Tell me you're not relieved.
I'm very relieved.
That makes 2 of us.
Let's go.
Showtime.
Welcome back to Calgary, and that's Olympic Park you're looking at on this beautiful Sunday. Labatt Brier Championship curling for you. Manitoba playing Alberta. For Kevin Martin, the scoring recap, just very simple, a deuce in the 4th end. But Kevin, you are a little surprised, and to non-curlers it might not seem like a big thing. Manitoba taking that single point, but that's huge for you.
Oh, it is, and actually, Vic could nose or anywhere on the outside to make a blank, and that's big for us right now, giving up a 3 early, and now after half the game we have the hammer back 2 down. That's not bad.
That 3 was a little scary for you, just a couple of ticks there and then going deep with a draw and bang. Vic is able to nail you for the 3, but you came back with a beautiful deuce. Tell me about your first shot, the nice hit and roll.
Well, if we hit and roll the other way, then Vic's probably playing the freeze bump, and knowing Vic, he'll probably make it. So we figured we better play the tougher of the 2 shots and roll behind a close guard, and it worked, thank goodness, and we got back into it a bit.
That's right, down 2. I know this is going to be an exciting finish all the way with hammer back. Good luck the rest of the way. Right now we're going back upstairs to the booth, Don and Don, with their thoughts on the first 5 ends.
A rather revealing comment by Kevin Martin. Knowing Vic, we knew he could make it. I think there is such great respect both sides have for each other.
Well, that's right. They played each other quite a few times. They know how each other thinks, so that you have to make the perfect shot if you're going to score 2. Martin did that particularly and made a great shot, Don. He hit and rolled to the inside, protected the one in the back, and Vic almost made another sensational shot by rolling, just spinning a little bit too far, but some great shooting here.
On the 3rd end, but for a fraction of an inch, Manitoba might not have been able to score 3 because it was those ticks that really enabled the Manitoba curlers to pick up the 3 points.
Well, that's what really sometimes annoys you, because it looks like you got a perfect shot and you just touch the guard, and it's so huge at that particular time. But that whole end was set up by Neufeld's great hit and rolled on, and that got Manitoba the 3.
Manitoba was trying to blank end 5. They picked up a single point. Does a bit of an advantage now swing to Alberta?
Well, I think, you know, you're still 2 up from Manitoba's standpoint, but you don't like to take a point with last rock. So now I know that Kevin's going to go all out and try to score 2. There's going to be a lot of rocks in play. Vic Peters, I think, would sooner have been up, 1 up coming, playing that end, 6th end, and having last rock as opposed to being 2 up without.
Any real changes in strategy by either team?
No, I don't think so. I think Kevin has to go after him. Vic has to maybe get a little bit of momentum, start gambling a little bit more. But I'm expecting a lot of rocks in play for the next 5 ends.
It's been a great Brier final so far. We look for more over the next 5, Colleen.
Thanks very much, Don. The scoring recap for Manitoba, the big 3 in the 3rd end, and then taking the single point in the 5th. They lead 4-2, but Vic Peters, you weren't exactly thrilled to be taking that single point there in 5.
No, I definitely wanted to blank that in, but it curled hard out of my hand, and that's the way things go.
Hey, you got like a 2-point lead, though.
Oh, we've been playing well. The team's playing really good, so we just hope to hang in there the rest of the game.
How about that 3 in the 3rd? For once, they didn't make a couple of doubles and runbacks on you.
And Scott, my lead made 2 perfect shots. I mean, if you set the end up like that, it's awfully hard for the other team to defend. And you're right, they didn't make any of the long ones that end, which is unusual.
Well, good luck the rest of the way. A 2-point lead in 6. Have fun defending it against a team like Kevin Martin. We'll talk to you at the end of the game. And when we come back here to the Saddledome, we'll be looking at Lord of the Rings, the road to the Olympic Games. We'll have that story about who's already qualified for the trials after this.
At first glance, this strut looks like most other struts, except for one important feature. Only UAP Napa struts meet the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
Would you mind putting these in order for me?
Okay. I eat the ice cream. I get the pain.
Yeah.
And then I start with Sensodyne again.
Okay, now try brushing with Sensodyne every day.
Hey, what happened to the pain?
Sensodyne every day helps prevent the pain of sensitive teeth.
Yeah, I'm with you, but how do I prevent cavities?
With this.
F, as in fluoride? So, I brush with Sensodyne F every day to help prevent the pain.
And the cavities.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
Hey, where to? I'll just check my notebook. Stop! Follow that notebook! I'm not worried. Stop that gun! I can get it! Thank you.
Man, that thing's really taking a beating, huh?
No! No! My notebook!
Toshiba Notebook Computers.
Yes!
Tough enough for today's world.
It'd be so good to see you smile, the smile you wear. Just shoot the breeze as if we never had a care. It'd be so great to hear your laughter coming through. Yeah, that's it, you know it's the least I can do. Yeah, it'd be so good.
At first glance, this CV joint looks like most other CV joints, except for one important feature. Only UAP Napa CV joints meet the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job. Available at UAP Napa stores.
This is the wonderful Olympic Plaza in downtown Calgary, the place each night where they awarded medals during the Calgary Winter Games. Well, 10 years later, they'll be awarding medals in curling as a full medal sport in Nagano next year. And so far, only one rink here at the Brier has qualified for the Canadian Olympic trials. That's Ed Wernick of Ontario. So at stake this weekend, not only that coveted tankard, but another spot in the Canadian Olympic trials.
As children, many of Canada's best curlers never dreamt they might one day have the chance to go to the Olympic Winter Games. But that glory is now within their grasp. Ontario's Wayne Madaw was the first to qualify.
I would like to make the Olympics, to be the first team ever to win a
an actual gold medal for Canada in the Olympic Games. I think that would be the greatest thrill of a lifetime, and you know, you're known as Olympic champion for the rest of your life. You know, I've been lucky enough to win the World Championships, but an Olympic gold medal I think is one of the greatest things for anybody. Like, no one's going to forget who Donovan Bailey is and people like that, and you know, I think that's a great deal.
Ed Werenich has won everything but an Olympic medal. Curling, he says, is on the cusp of something big.
This will get us a major factor in our fight against hockey. I would think, you know, when young kids mostly play hockey, and that's where we have problems interesting them to playing, you know, the game. And I think once they realize what a medal sport and a chance to go to the Olympics, and you know, I think it'll give us tremendous exposure.
It's a great thrill for us. We've kind of been stuck in Ontario for a few years and losing the likes of Werenich and Medaws and Howards and things, and it's kind of nice to finally get to a national stage where we can play. It's been pretty tough for us to get out of the province the last few years, but we've been close, but this is really our first big opportunity.
Go west, young man, to Manitoba, where thoughts of Olympic grandeur dance in the minds of these young men. Dave Smith's St. Vital rink has a qualifying berth and the backing of his club. Winnipeg's Jeff Stoughton is surrounded by the joys of his life. The only thing missing, an Olympic medal. But just up the road in Winnipeg is a two-time Brier champion. Carrie Burtnick has similar Olympic designs. From the Great Plains to the Pebble of the Klondike, where Brent McDonald of Edmonton has staked a claim. And crosstown rival Kevin Park has qualified too, the former third for Kevin Martin, branching out on his own, waiting to see if Martin, his mentor, will win the Brier and the berth that goes with it.
Yes, an Olympic trial spot and the Brier crown is on the line today. Manitoba leading Alberta 4-2 after 5 ends. We'll be back with the 6th end after this.
Fast relief from the pain of heartburn is why Maalox is the most trusted choice of pharmacist in Canada.
This is gonna be fantastic. A week of fishing. Only one way in and one way out. Peter would have loved this. Too bad he hates to fly. Peter's a wimp. Peter? How was the in-flight movie?
The new Ford Expedition gets you to those hard-to-reach places. Ford Expedition.
Now that we've added even more flights to the Canadian Airlines schedule, you can fly the Canadian Shuttle between Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa over 70 times a day, and over 40 times between Toronto, New York, and Chicago. Now that's a frequent flyer program. Canadian Airlines, the way you want to fly.
Is it true you encourage people not to do their taxes?
Yes.
Why is that, sir?
It's a hassle. They've got better things to do.
Sir, some people describe you as a tax vigilante.
Really? Well, we prefer to think of ourselves as providers of peace of mind.
So you're not working alone?
Heck no. Our organization's over 12,000 people strong.
Sir, one more
Fast relief from the pain of heartburn is why Maalox is the most trusted choice of pharmacist in Canada.
At the Canadian Airlines Saddledome at the midpoint of the Levat Brier final, it's Manitoba leading by 2. 4-2 the score in favor of Vic Peters. How do the curlers relax during the 5th end break as the ice is cleaned?
Oh, he's had some hard shots. Too bad I couldn't make that roll. I rolled just that much too far. I always got to take one. It's a little bit wide. I wasn't sure the ice was okay. Keep trying. How long is it? Never look at that stuff. I never look at that stuff. Never look at that. Close your eyes when you drop that.
And what Vic was referring to was the prize table, where they have the individual replicas of the Labatt Brier tankard that are presented to each member of the winning team, and also the medals and the championship rings. As Vic said to his children, I never look at that. I close my eyes as I walk past the table.
Wasn't that wonderful to see, though? His kids ran right down to him after he finished the interview at the 5th end. And what are you going to do now, Dad?
Yep.
He's discussing strategy with them.
Easy.
Yep. He's a good father, and I know he has high hopes for his son who's getting involved in curling. And he told us that, don't look at that. Never, ever look at that when you're curling. And he was, of course, referring to the trophies and the rings and the bar that says Canadian champion on it.
Paul, we've talked about the Canadian championship that goes to the winning team this afternoon. Also a trip to the Worlds and a spot in the Canadian Olympic qualifying that takes place in Brandon, November 22nd to the 30th. And tickets at the Keystone Center are still available. They can be purchased direct from the Brandon Keystone Center box office. They're looking for a full house for that week of Olympic qualifying at the Keystone Center in Brandon.
And, you know, we said at the 5th end break that Martin will throw up corner guards and try to score us 2 that end. And that's why Vic, of course, wanted to blank to maintain the advantage of last rock. And Vic, having one in the forefoot, is asking Scott Reed to play the guard.
Came out faster.
He came out faster.
Hard for line. It's good.
Maybe driving a little bit too strong is actually taking weight off the rock.
Well, Kevin said to me about Vic taking the single point in the 5th. Well, that looks like a very innocent mistake. It's actually a costly one. Kevin summed it up very well. He said that's jackpot for Alberta. Allows them to try to score a deuce this end and tie the game up.
Well, you can see it's 3/4 protected. And of course, Kevin Martin is just playing the quiet tap back. Come around that, move on into the back of the forefoot, and maybe utilize by pushing that rock to the back of the forefoot as backing later on in the end.
Hurry! Real hard, real hard. Come on. Hard. Right up, guys, right up.
I think Bartlett's all over the guard here. It looked like he turned because Kevin yelled right away, hurry hard. Oh, and he's all over
going to raise the guard into the rings. Manitoba lies too.
Yeah, and a little bit of a turn on that one. He never got it and released it free. He kind of turned it a bit when he released it. And that's why the rock took off.
Front ring's okay here, too. Whoa! It's out there, though. Where is it? Not bad. A lot of room. Let it work. Let it work.
You heard Dan Carey say it, like it tight, even in the range.
This one, Dan. Right around this one. It's around it. Okay, well, if it's there, hard, I think you gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Well, well. Good shot, Denny. Good boy.
I'll say that's a great spot. Now, you see, here's a scenario where all the rocks in play, you'd be a little bit nervous. There's 3 rocks in play. They're all belong to the opposition, but that doesn't bother Martin because he knows the more rocks in play, the more chances Manitoba may play, jam one, and that's how they'll score the 2. He's playing this whole end to get to by calling this type of shot.
Bonus for Manitoba is that all the rocks are above the tee line. Makes the freeze a lot harder because Manitoba will still be shot.
No, we're not. We're good. We're good.
That's why he wants to move
Line's
it.
Perfect.
Just line.
There's a beautiful shot by Ron Duran. It really is. Is that any good?
Second shot. But on top of the Manitoba stone.
You'll see good brushing here. Gets by the guard nicely by about 2 inches.
Same way.
Beautiful brushing, gets it right to the face of the rock.
So.
Leaves Vic without a lot of options. He's pretty much forced to play the
Where's
guard.
it? Good way. Where? Right there. Hard.
Does Peters go into a defensive
tight
mode
on this
now?
one.
Well, now he has to.
Gotta go around it. Wow. Yep. Hard. Real hard. Wow. We're not buying. We're not buying. We're not buying. Good shot.
That's not bad. At least he's covered up, but a lot of rocks in play.
Good shot.
Now, here's where
Shot,
the
Danny.
angles come in for Kevin Martin.
Yeah.
He credits the fifth man and coach Jules Ochar for a lot of their success.
You split this a little. That's no problem. Go here, though.
Jules even got into a game during round robin play when lead Don Bartlett was sick, and Jules led them all with an 86%.
Good coach. Now Kevin is setting up for another shot. He's asking Rudy to put it in a position where maybe they can promote it later on.
Weight's good. Hard for line.
He's looking at the angles where he wants to put the rock.
Hold then. Oh.
And you hear Don Walchuk say he's bumping. Means he's got a little bit more weight.
Whoa.
Oh, that's two beautiful shots. Two great shots.
I think it'd be safe to say he's the best curler Trinidad has ever produced.
Start again. You could hit that. Okay.
I just don't like the way this is setting up for Manitoba. You know how Alberta likes to play the raised takeouts. And there's a lot of rocks out in front, a lot of angles, and you got to look at all the possibilities here. And Vic's protecting one, and now Martin's looking at trying to get scored three.
Oh, looks heavy. No, it's good. Clean.
He has
Just
two
over.
in position. He just has to remove the Manitoba rocks in the 4 foot.
Oh,
He's
easy.
got three.
Whoa, guys. Just clean. Whoa, don't let her hook too much, did he? Good shot.
Well, both Walchuk and Martin in the past have been known to move granite around with a high hard one.
Like this?
Now you see what Martin's going to do. He's going to hit that red one onto his yellow one and frozen to the one in the 4 foot. Albeit it's a Manitoba rock, that way he'll be lying too.
As soon as they start playing these kind of shots too, the crowd starts kind of a little rumble about how does he have to hit it.
Or hitting
That's
their
right.
onto ours?
Yeah.
See, hitting ours on the theirs.
This is the 6th Labatt Brier for Don Walchuk.
It's good. Hurry.
Hard.
Hard.
He's coming across the face of it.
Whoa, off. That's all right.
Come on, get it in. Get it in. Shot.
Shot.
And they got the stone to the edge of the 12.
Ooh,
it shouldn't come into play, but you never know.
Oh, it's in play.
No chance.
I'm not sure he had enough weight either to move much.
Vic is being forced into a defensive posture here, and he doesn't like it. And I'll tell you the reason he doesn't like it, because those two yellow rocks in the 8 foot and the rocks that are lining up out in front. And no matter where he puts it,
Gotta
Alberta's
go higher,
gonna
right?
run,
Just see it all.
run it
Gotta
back.
go here.
I think we just got to guard it, eh?
A little wider. All right.
Yeah.
Nine rocks in play. One in the 4 foot, which is the major one, and two in the 8 foot, looming large for Alberta.
Tight.
Whoa, then.
Whoa, he's tight.
Whoa.
Gonna curl too much.
Whoa, good line.
Whoa, Denny. Whoa. Curling too much.
That's the yellow one.
No, it's curling way too much. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Good shot.
Way to watch.
Okay, which angle do you pick?
You, yeah, you can't afford to try that now. Okay. Red one right on the nose.
How about
you
the
can
far
afford to
left
throw
one?
like down normal now, though. Okay. Go down normal. Right there.
Huh?
Well, the one you have to be concerned about is this one here.
Down normal.
Somewhere during the course of this end, that'll come into play. Walchuk is just trying to run this one back. He hits it straight back. Not throwing very much weight.
Well, never.
He's running down the line.
No, 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 no.
Look at this. And that's what Vic Peters was concerned about. And Don Walchuk comes through to promote the stone to the shot rock.
Oh, I just curled enough for him. A great run back.
Easy. Yeah. The one might jam back here, though, maybe.
Pretty good shot.
We get lucky.
But now, Martin is maybe concerned that he set up a triple for Manitoba.
Absolutely. Because Vic Peters hits what he
Maybe not.
Might come straight back.
Has to be even
This
thicker
might go
to
onto
get
that
through,
one.
And it might go in there. That's all we got. How much can I see? See half?
Should go out even if it hits it, eh? If we hit this a little high, though.
Normal?
Normal. That hit about 3/4, eh?
Is it hook here, guys? Hits hook out here. Nobody knows.
Here's what he's looking at. Coming down here, hitting this one, half a
hit with,
rock, over
one
onto
way,
that
didn't
one,
he?
and
With
making a
hook?
triple kill. The only shot he has, because he has no access in here. So that's the shot he has to play. If he
A little
hits,
less, I think.
if he hits what he can see, he'll make a triple.
Yeah, we can't.
And if he hits it too
Got
thick,
hit not quite what we
he
can see.
may only end up making the double.
I got to throw it pretty hard. Right?
Yes!
Hard! Real hard!
Harder!
Real hard!
Harder!
Is he by the guard? No.
He never got out to the broom. They yelled right away. He was tight as soon as he let it go.
That's sweet.
Back here. Okay, Vic.
Or straight back.
Okay. That's good, too.
I don't know. If we go anywhere there, it gets them a hit and roll. It
Yeah.
gets them all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. All right.
You don't like this? Oh, no. Let's get one more rock in the house.
Two options. You never ever give the opposing skip the same shot twice.
Right now, that 7 goes on to that one over there.
And that's why he's looking at this one. He could play the out-turn draw around
just
the
bump it
corner
in.
guard.
Into here.
Bump it in and where?
If he
Roll
goes
off?
in,
Yeah, just roll off.
Roll out. We're gonna.
Well, we don't want to roll right. There's no need. What? Into 3 of them?
Okay.
Have at her, you know?
All right. Nose ain't bad either, eh? Hey?
I like this
Okay.
call.
All right.
I'd rather do this. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's taking a lot of ice, edge of the 12th, and he's just trying to nudge that one just off the ring.
Don't
He's
want to
just
overthrow
biting.
this thing and bump or one into the open. That's the big thing.
That's exactly right. He certainly doesn't want to hit a half a rock and push his yellow one into the open so Vic can hit and roll behind cover. Big shot here.
Manitoba clearly in trouble, but if Martin makes this one, he's in deep, deep trouble.
Yep, for line.
Whoa, room. Hart. Hart.
Hard for line.
Hart.
Where's the weight?
Pull. Pull. Pull.
Whoa.
He wants to nudge the stone into
Hart,
the rings.
Rudy, roll it off. Roll it off.
Roll it off.
And he will lie 3 with an excellent shot.
Well, I don't think there's anywhere for Vic to draw. You'll see the replay here. He makes just a great shot. What a wonderful touch. He just hits exactly the amount of rock he wants, pushes the other one back closer to the 4-foot, rolls the shooter away. But that shooter, where he rolled to...
It's tough for him to do much damage there.
If Vic hits a half a rock...
Or off of this under there, yeah.
He could make...
That's all we got. There's nowhere to draw. Can't get here.
Well, unless you go here, but then you have to
Yeah. Try to get one out of there anyways, eh?
Okay.
Same turn, I think. Hey, middle of the rock?
You just got to graze this, eh?
To do that, but if it's a little
we
fuller,
hit it thicker, we can do
if it's
this
a little
way.
fuller, you might be able to catch it here and move that one back far enough, that one there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come down here, hit into this corner here. This one may go about this way, and he may come off the back of this one and hit one of those. Tough, tough shot.
Not trying to score, but to cut down the end.
Absolutely.
The best one is the real light, real just tick.
That's exactly right.
Then we get 2 out. This should curl. It was a little tight, but it curled.
Peters is facing 3 Alberta stones in the 8-foot.
No!
Oh, he threw big weight at it.
No!
No, he's not going to get anything here.
He could give up 4. As Martin has the draw anywhere in the 8-foot, and it will be a huge score of 4 for Kevin Martin of Alberta.
Well, you know, we said at the beginning and the end, the more rocks in play, the better it is for Kevin Martin, and he's taken advantage of everything here. A great raised takeout by Don Walchuk set the whole end up because Vic tried to protect one in the 4-foot, and those 2 in the 8-foot, I said, were going to be a constant source of a problem for him, and it certainly worked out that way.
Well, the raised takeout was the big weapon in the 1 versus 2 playoff encounter on Friday night. And it was the shot by Don Walchuk that set up this 6th end for Kevin Martin as he is now trying to draw for a 4th stone.
Room.
Lots of room.
Clean.
Line's good.
They didn't have to lay a brush to it. And many of this capacity crowd of 17,000 plus stand and applaud Kevin Martin and his Alberta champions.
A tough cold isn't just up here. Your sinuses are congested too. That's why there's Advil Cold and Sinus for congestion. It's tough on colds like Advil is on pain, and now it's available without a prescription.
Advil Cold and Sinus, today's relief for tough colds.
Ever suffered from the itch and pain of hemorrhoids? I have. So I use Preparation H. It shrinks the swelling of the hemorrhoids. And when you shrink the swelling, you relieve the itch and pain.
Preparation H shrinks hemorrhoids.
It's really that simple.
Oh, hi. It's Midas days, and that's why we can't afford a complete commercial. We couldn't afford the whole screen. But, you know, what we saved, we're passing on to you. For a limited time, Midas will give you a computerized wheel alignment, plus balance all 4 wheels and rotate your tires, all for an amazing $39.95. They even inspect your brakes for free. What a deal. Okay, so you lean in and squint, and the commercial will look perfectly normal. Huh? Midas, the way it should be.
Oh, yeah, and offer ends March 29th.
Excuse me, think your disposable razor shaves as comfortably as his Gillette Sensor Excel? Yeah. Well, try Sensor Excel. It'll change your mind. After one shave with Sensor Excel, we bet you don't go back. Because only Sensor Excel has protective microfins for extra comfort. Whoa. And self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Disposables don't. And Sensor Excel gives more shapes per blade than any disposable.
Excuse me.
Take the Sensor Excel challenge. Bet you don't go back to disposables.
Hey, I want my Sensor Excel back. Hey, hey!
Hope you've got an insurance broker. Hope you've got an insurance broker. Sometimes the best insurance is an insurance broker. Because an independent insurance broker works for you, not just one insurance company, to evaluate your needs to cover you best.
Heartburn is not a pleasant condition for anyone. That's why we're offering the Gaviscon money-back guarantee. Gaviscon has been formulated to relieve bad heartburn. It starts to work fast, first soothing pain on contact, and then forming a barrier for long-lasting relief. If you feel that Gaviscon hasn't worked for you, we're happy to give you your money back. If you feel it has worked for you, we're happier still. That's the Gaviscon guarantee.
Norway hails the return of the Olympic stars like Bjorn Dali and rivals Belmondo and Bjelby on the women's side. The top Nordic skiers and ski jumpers soar at the World Nordic Championships next Saturday.
A big 4 in the 6th end, and Alberta has the lead for the first time in the Labatt Brier final. And one of the happiest people in the building, Jules Ochar, the coach and 5th man for this Alberta team. And Vic Peters realizes that he had control of this match, and now control is in the hands of Kevin Martin, and this is where the Alberta rink can be so dangerous.
Well, it's not
like his stones.
Copy.
the thing for Vic Peters now. Martin was 2 down playing the 6th end. Now he's 2 down playing the 7th end. Now he's got to do exactly the same thing that Martin did the previous end. He's not out of it. He can score 1, he can score 2, and he's right back in the game.
Wait, Don.
You got to shake. Nobody likes to get 4 scored on him, I'll tell you that. So you got to shake it off and just play a little bit harder. Regroup. And the front end's got to start talking to themselves and keeping everybody in the game and keeping Dan, and don't get down on yourself and just keep struggling. But a beautiful end played by Alberta. It was exciting to watch. You knew somewhere in that end disaster was going to strike, and there was nothing Vic Peters could do to prevent it.
All during this contest, we have talked about the raised takeout that Alberta executes so well, and that was what set up the end, the shot by Don Walchuk. Now Kevin Martin finds himself in something of a defensive mode.
Well, this is exactly the same way the last end started.
Top 12. Shirts here.
Prior to the introduction of the free guard zone, at this stage, Martin and company would be peeling everything in sight.
Yes.
That's okay. Good shot.
Now you'll see Vic Peters do exactly the same thing. This end, just move the rocks behind the tee line. Get some of his rocks in front of the opposing team's rocks. He's just playing for two to get back in this game.
Wow.
And this is a pivotal end for the Manitoba team.
Wow, that'll work. Wow. Wow.
Dying now.
No, no. No.
Okay. All right.
Never curled very much, never came across the face of it. And he had perfect weight. Maybe a little bit too much room there by Vic Peters. Let's see what Martin wants now. He wants to take that Manitoba rock out and spin off and take one of his own out. He doesn't care if he removes any of his rocks.
Clean, yep.
You see, he's listed as a 10 handicap golfer, as Skip Kevin Martin said.
Oh.
I'd really like to have him as my partner at a 10. He's a lot better than that.
Double the 2.
Normal.
Over behind the corner, yeah.
I won't get the triple.
Normal?
Normal.
Normal hit. You cannot get the triple because he has to hit the first rock on the high on the outside, and that'll just jam on the one in the 4-foot.
Well,
the key is to get the roll.
Hard.
Make the double.
Real hard. Real hard. Real hard. Just roll it. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Beauty.
Good shot.
He's got something started. At least there's one over there, albeit third shot.
But it's also behind cover, and it's the cover that Kevin Martin wants to remove.
Hey.
It's interesting to see the momentum shift from Peters trying to keep things clean a couple of ends ago. Certainly wasn't able to do it last end, but now Martin trying to attempt the same thing.
Well, Martin knows what the danger is, and that's the rocks out in front. Now for Big Peters, he's going to have to play in the rings. He's going to have to freeze to that one in the 4-foot. Hope for a jam somewhere.
Or freeze the yellow shot.
Or freeze the yellow shot or play the corner.
Or you want to play it like this?
Or freeze it.
How about a freeze? Freeze it.
Ah, bang, bang.
Okay.
Too close. Play this.
Yeah, okay. We got to hit it.
He could freeze to it, but he's saying by freezing it to it, Martin will just come down and simply make the double on the right-hand side. So they're going to try to hit and get a little separation here.
Well, hard.
From the rock frozen to the one on the right-hand side.
Hard. Yep.
Hard. Hard.
He needs a roll.
Right over. Hard. Keep it going.
That's a good shot.
What?
You know what he's done? He's got good separation now. Now they'll just exchange hits on this one with Vic's last rock. They'll
We're just too close together, eh?
Tap his own onto the yellow rock belonging to Alberta and scores 2.
If all goes according to plan.
How we make it out in time?
Everybody makes
How
their
we make it
shots.
out in time? Clean. Well, clean. Off. Shot done.
Second shot still belongs to Manitoba. There are 2 Alberta stones in the ring.
Now you might want to freeze to that one.
Line.
On the left-hand side. Or draw around it. It's a good shot.
Huh? Good shot.
Good here, Dan.
Yeah. That's exactly what he's playing.
Why would you change now and freeze over there?
Well, because there's lots of separation. That's why he didn't want to freeze the one in the 4-foot, because they were so close together to the ones on the right-hand side. But there's good separation now. So if they make the double, there's no way that they're going to get over to the other side.
Where is it?
Good.
Where? Back here?
No.
Yeah, right around it. Hard. Hard. Hard.
He has to get around it or corner freeze it. No, he's going to take it.
Yeah, good weight, Dan.
Good weight, but he had to get around it.
Want to stay there? You can even roll a little this way. I think you get nose is great. Nose?
Nose will give him.
He doesn't want to see him do that.
Lying 2.
Yeah.
Kevin's eyes keep shifting over to that one on the far right-hand side.
You can see that with both skips, can't you? The way
Yes.
their eyes are shifting and they're thinking about the next shot and then the shot two rocks from now, what they might have.
Good.
See, now that's third shot. But I still think you play the tap back. No, he's going to play a wide open hit.
That's good.
what he's hoping for, just to hit and stay there, and then Martin will hit that one, because he's certainly not going to go after the one on the right-hand side. Frozen
Right
is.
off.
And with
Right
Peters'
off.
last rock, he'll play the hit.
Right off. Wow.
But Kerry's got to stay
Right
here.
Well, Scotty.
Good shot.
What?
Boy, a long time in coming, that one. It was a well out there for a long, long time.
Kerry was applying a lot of body English, and the rock did respond.
Amazing how many people talk to their rocks. They seem to listen.
Yeah, but if the rock answers, Colleen, then you're in big trouble.
Yeah, run.
Well, Manitoba's played this end very, very well. They're set up for their deuce now to get right back in this game.
Hard! 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 Right up! Right up! Hard!
Alberta
hard.
looking for the roll.
Roll it! Roll it! Hard!
And that will make life a little more difficult for Vic Peters.
Yuck. I don't like that.
Not really.
No, he certainly doesn't like that one. I mean, that's a good shot. But the big thing is he rolled behind the tee line. Just at the line. Now, Vic corner freezes it. He's got...
Freeze isn't bad.
He's behind cover and shot
Hey,
rock.
gotta be shot though, eh? It's gotta be shot.
That's right.
Love to move him. You gotta move him to here. Yeah. Right? So this lines up.
Right. Just biting back to the biting
What do you
the
think?
12. Yeah, I think so.
Curl that much? Should, eh?
Once it gets across the line, it's
yeah.
Big Peter's coming down
Freeze
into this
or
area
just
here.
move him a little
I think
bit
the
would be
freeze is
ideal.
shot. If he moves it back here, it's not bad. What he's trying to set up is maybe get a jam out of Alberta, or maybe a hit on the one in the front, maybe playing a little bit too thin and rubbing that front red one and maybe ending up with 3. But he has to put this rock in here. He has to get it in the 4 foot, and it, above all, must be shot.
Lot of room.
Room.
Lot of room. How's
How's
weight?
the weight?
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
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 Whoa, 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 whoa.
Right
Whoa,
off.
Scotty, no.
He's got lots of weight.
No.
Right off.
No. Move him a little.
Yep.
Move him a little.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, that's a beautiful shot. That's a great curling shot. Nice touch. And let me tell you, Kevin Martin better be careful here, or there's going to be 3 scored on him right back.
I had to hair that red one to do it.
It's a good shot.
Good throw.
When he talked about herring the red one, he was talking about just skinning past his own
past
stone.
the guard. You see, and that's what's taking Martin so long to decide here, because
play right here.
If he hits
There's
this
no
one,
double right now. Sure.
if he hits that one, he may jam it and leave Vic just a tap on the front one for 3. If he plays it really tight, he may rack on the red one and leave Vic a free draw for 3.
Well, if it frees here, though, you see, then he's got the double, and then the back one stays, right?
Yeah,
can't fall him down.
Okay. Gee, that's
Anywhere
even...
here. No, how's he going to get the 7 out? As long as we don't go too deep, then he comes off the carom, eh?
Okay. See anything else?
Last possibility?
No. For him, you mean? Or what? Oh, geez, no. Oh. Could die with that one.
Front end's down to the other end, please. Ramcharam hasn't said very much, but he's made one suggestion and certainly shot down
If I
pretty
don't
quickly.
shoot, he's only getting 2. I just don't.
If you don't shoot, he's only getting 2.
That's right. If he doesn't shoot, he's only going to get 2. Good point, Kevin.
Well, put it somewhere on the center line. Anywhere on the center line.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, as long as I don't go deep, right? Okay.
Put it on the center
Middle 8
line,
foot.
force him out wide. When I say
Even
force him
top
out wide,
12.
Vic Peters' last
Fine.
draw. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's conceding 2 here. Potential 2.
Shot, Vic.
Here's what he wants to do. He wants to put it right here and force Manitoba to go out wide to get us 2 points. He doesn't feel he can get that rock out of there, Don, because if he really hits half a rock, then Manitoba's going to get 3, and you don't want to do that.
Should be all right. Top 8, come on. Hurry.
Top 8, he
Just
said.
hurry.
Foot. Right here.
Come on, top
Kevin
8,
wants
hard,
it.
it's
Top
light,
8,
come on.
Top 8, Don Walczyk
Come
wants
on,
it.
we want to block the
Top
bump.
12.
Hard, I want to block the bump. Nah. It's got the same shot.
Well, he didn't get over the line, and that's where he had to be.
Need that thing to be in the house.
Nah.
Mind you, we don't need it deep.
Just through the 4-foot, eh?
Just to the 4-foot, playing from the outside in towards the fat part of the circles, as opposed to playing the same draw that he just threw.
A little less
If you were
ice, or
Vic
is that
Peters,
lost?
would you have given any
Will it
thought
look
to
that
bumping
far?
your own back onto the
No,
Yellowstone?
no, sir. Just playing the straight draw. Played the whole end to score 2, and it's happening right before you. It's a big shot. From a morale standpoint, getting even.
How's weight? Oh, easy.
Yep.
Where is it?
Good.
T-line.
Good. Just for weight.
T-line. Okay. Hard.
Vic needs this one to get his confidence
Oh,
back.
easy. Easy. Easy, Denny.
Yep.
Yep. Keep her going.
He's got it, Beauty. He's been able to cover the pinhole with draw attempts throughout the week, and he does it again under pressure on the 7th end. And Manitoba is able to pick up a pair, and this Labatt-Brier final with 3 ends remaining is all even.
Just a beautiful shot, and that's a big confidence builder because he put it right on the button.
It's Manitoba 6, Alberta 6 with 3 ends left.
Look, I invented something amazing. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. Powerful blue detergent plus stain-fighting chlorine bleach. 2 cleans in 1 for up to 4 months. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. 2 cleans in 1.
It started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
If this was a commercial for Bounty Jumbo, it would end right here. But it's a commercial for Scott Towels Jumbo, which soaks up big spills as well as Bounty Jumbo. Yet Scott Towels Jumbo is 22% longer. Scott Towels, strong, absorbent, and lots on a roll.
Maybe you think only those fast lane types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Bill, Bob, I'm running late.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
So, cover for me during finger paints?
They're practically child's play.
Right, it's Science Day.
With Nokia's big screens, easy to find names and numbers, and sleek designs.
Coach, could you handle Sandbox for me? I'm like in a 4-lane parking lot. We're talking rest period before I get there. Oh, I forgot my show and tell.
So now we can all be in the fast lane. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
Look, I invented something amazing. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. Powerful blue detergent plus stain-fighting chlorine bleach. 2 cleans in 1 for up to 4 months. 2,000 flushes, blue plus bleach. 2 cleans in 1.
The guy said the plant could blow.
I'm trying to build a story here.
Is there a script yet?
Just play Jane Fonda from the China Syndrome.
Radioactivity.
1 point, just an inch more leg. Would you like some tea?
2 seals ruptured.
Hair.
The audience is not going to believe Michael Bolton.
A national inquiry. Where are the promised jobs?
In the new economy, once you graduate, you're set for about 15 minutes.
There's a gap in expectation.
I'm beginning to feel hopeless.
How do we get Canada working? Peril and Promise. The National. Tuesday at 10.
Well, inside the Saddledome, Winter is still hanging on in southern Alberta. But inside, very few of the fans are concerned about the conditions outside the facility. They are enjoying a tremendous Labatt-Brier final. Yesterday's attendance record was broken by 10 for a single draw, and an attendance record for the week of 223,000 plus. And some of the happiest people in the place are the chairman of the Brier, Jerry Rasmussen, and the gentleman who is competitions director for the Canadian Curling Association, sitting there beside him behind the monitor, Warren Hansen. A tremendous job by Jerry Rasmussen and all the volunteers, all the people involved in putting together this 1997 Brier. There were some who were very skeptical about holding it in a facility this big.
Well, it was a big gamble by Warren Hansen and his committee, and he just did an outstanding job. They decided to hold it in Calgary. They said they could get 223,000, and they did that, and just marvelous. And you know, Warren Hansen does not get enough credit for the work that he does on these national events. He is by far the hardest worker I've seen. He's diligent. He gets maligned by a lot of curlers, but let me tell you, he gets the job done.
Well, they've certainly got the job done here in Calgary this week, and on the ice, Kevin Martin and Vic Peters attempting to get the job done.
Lots of weight.
Nice.
To earn the right to represent Canada
Got room.
at the World Championships and also gain a spot in the Olympic trials.
Well, once again, the game is on. Now it's Kevin Martin's turn.
And you see Don smiling after he makes that shot. He's just so loose out there. Like every time I see him, he's laughing or smiling or...
Well, he's been here quite a few times, so he knows what it's like. He knows he can make the shot. He's probably practices that every day. And the key is making sure it's covered and making sure it's in front of the tee line.
Weight's good.
And Scott Grant has got to do exactly the same thing.
Right off. Lots. Right off.
Right off. Right off.
Around it?
No, can't go around it. We're on it. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, Denny. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, boy. Good shot.
It's a good shot from Scott. Lines it up for the raise back.
Well, they'd like to bend it in a little bit tighter. Lots of rocks in play. Now, your lying shot rock, you have the advantage of last rock, and now you're going to go for two. And you can be rest assured all the rocks will be congregating in the 4-foot area.
Well, the spectators inside the Saddledome are having some fun right now. They're doing the wave. Might be a bit distracting to the curlers.
Heavier.
Hurry. Right for line. How's the weight?
Hard, Dad.
Hard, Dad. Hard! Hard! Right out!
Oh, whoa.
Just
that's not a bad spot,
fraction of an inch that enabled them to get past required by Don Bartlett.
Boy, if he gets by that one, he's corner frozen it on the Manitoba rock.
Play like bumper. Flop this one to the outside 12. Okay. Okay.
Hack weight. Go like this.
Yeah.
These are tough ends to play when you do not have the advantage of last rock. Manitoba, Chris Neufeld trying to come around a guard out in front belonging to their team.
Hard for line. Hard for line. Whoa, 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 whoa. How much weight? Hard.
Quiet.
Hard, Dan. We got to move this. No. Roll yours, Scotty. Oh, every inch. Every inch on yours. No.
Okay. All right.
You're Vic Peters yelling,
wait.
Nah. You need a little bit more weight because the big thing there, he wanted to roll his shooter out of the way.
Supposed to hack.
Because you know how well the Albertans make double takeouts. He's got one nicely welded in behind cover.
On the double, eh?
What else?
Surprise, surprise.
Normal weight route.
Normal weight route.
And even before he settles down in the hack, you can hear chants of Rudy.
Weights up.
Hurry. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard. No. Good job.
Well, he had to hit a little bit thinner.
It's not bad.
Center line, yeah.
A little bit of a break for the Manitoba team. Now they can hit half a rock in the inside and roll away from
Or
it.
the same weight, you just threw. Hack.
That outside.
Yeah.
But that
Like
rock
that?
on the center line
Yeah.
is dangerous. You know how Alberta loves to play the run back.
Just bump. Okay, bumper. Yep, lots of weight. Whoa, whoa.
You felt
right
never
off.
taking his eyes off the broom as he
Right
releases
off.
the stone.
Well,
Come on up.
well. Kiss this one over.
No, yeah, we're gonna hit it too hard. Good shot.
That's a good shot.
Okay.
Oh, he just maybe, they should have swept that a little bit more, got a little bit more separation between those two because the same double is there.
Shot, Danny.
I think even the angle's a little bit better.
Didn't curl at all. I thought you threw it good.
Oh, look at here.
Oh, geez. If we don't. Yeah. Well, all right.
We play the double.
Okay, Rude.
That's right. Why don't you play
Same
the
way.
double? He just played it the first time so he knows exactly how it runs.
Martin initially wanted the raised takeout.
Whoa. Clean. Hard.
Can he get two with this shot? Yes. As you have often said, never give the same player the same shot.
Absolutely. And not only that, it's in behind cover now, but the angle is good for Vic Peters.
Got Rude.
You'll see it hits absolutely perfect.
Okay. Sit it right there.
Okay.
Just this weight, guys. Back rank.
Well, that's what it's calling.
We're down to the first of the third stones on this eighth end. Dan Carey shooting for Manitoba.
Hop. Yep. Tight. Hard.
You never like it when you hear your skip yell tight
Real
right
hard.
away because it's
Real hard. Real hard. Real hard. Real hard. Keep her going. Whoa.
Oh, he just skinned it.
What a great shot that is by Dan Carey. That is absolutely gorgeous. That is as fine a curling shot as you want to see. He could only see half a rock and he hit it right on the nose and had enough weight to push it through the rings.
great control of his weight on it.
Oh, beautiful. Look at this. Oh.
Do you think they could call it a little
brushing,
tighter
guys.
to the guard?
Good brushing.
It's an unbelievable curling shot.
Good work.
And as always, a good third will always
What do you think it
compliment
is,
his front
Phil?
end.
14?
Now for Walchuk.
Maybe you can explain for some of those not familiar with the game of curling. The shooter gets in the hack when he can stop his throw.
He can stop his throw as long as he doesn't go to the closest tee line in the house. Once he gets the rock past that point, it is considered a shot.
Hurry.
So if you're unsure in your delivery or your
Little
motion
tight.
or everything else, stop right away. Don't get started.
Real hard for lines. Hard.
Extra weight's good.
Yeah, we're on the guard though.
Ooh, boy.
Hard. Roll it. Roll it. Roll it. Roll it. That's all right. That's fine.
Alberta still lies one.
Sorry.
That's all right. Just got to go in a hair.
Tight. Yeah.
Just got it going in here, which means he just didn't quite get out to the broom. Nice clean release.
It's not a bad shot. Or you want to play like this?
Yeah.
I don't really like it here.
Okay.
Little off.
Little off.
Little off the normal weight that he usually throws for those kind of takeouts. He won't overpower it.
Whoa. Clean. Yep. Hard. Hard. Well,
Two big shots on this 8th end by Dan Carey.
Brushing, guys. Is that normal?
Shot.
Thanks. Oh, boys did a good job.
Alberta's going to try to come down here and hit this rock and drive it into this area here. The key is that he wants to get behind these two guards in here to protect it.
So I need, what, about the same?
He could come down to the one that Dan Carey just hit and stayed right there, but they're looking for a little bit more. They want to angle raise it.
It's good.
Okay, hurry.
This is very enjoyable watching this type of curling, isn't it?
Well, we certainly hope those of you who are looking in across the country on the CBC network are enjoying the action.
Hard. Hard, never off. Yeah, must be just getting them going.
Well, he pushed it back, not where he wanted the stone. He puts it back and removes one of the Manitoba rocks. And we've also got a fair number of curling fans in the United States watching via satellite. We understand there's a group in Palm Springs.
Must be looping
who are
them,
looking in today.
Huh? You must be looping them, eh?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's a fair chunk of ice. No?
Yeah.
Must be looping him. Means he must be coming outside and then rolling it in, getting it started.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to play the bump anyways.
Doesn't take a lot to throw off a delivery. Just a little slide wide or in, or a little wrong twist in or out at the release point.
Yep.
Oh. No. Yep.
Whoa.
No. Right off.
Right off. Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hard.
Ah, great touch. Now he forces Alberta's hand.
Brushing, guys.
Good brushing is right. Great call by Dan Carey. Great execution by Vic
Shot,
Peters.
Vic. Thanks. Good throw.
We said at the outset that this game could be decided in the battle between the two-thirds, Dan Carey and Don Walchuk. When Alberta scored the 4, it was the shot by Walchuk that set up the end. It was the 2 shots by Carey that have put Manitoba in position, albeit they're trying to steal on the 8th.
Behind the corner. That's
exactly.
No kidding, because prior to the 3rd shots, it looked like Alberta was looking for another 3.
This is the big shot. He has to make this one.
Room.
Yep.
Room.
Room.
Hard. Hard.
Room.
Hard. Oh, off.
It's good.
Oh, take it behind the corner. Take it behind the corner.
You hear him yelling,
Come
take
on,
it behind
Ernie.
the corner. Take it behind the
Hard.
corner.
Come on, get it in there.
Hard.
Oh, boy.
Well, he cuts Manitoba out of 1 with 2 stones to be played.
Well, that's 2 breaks and 2 rocks for Alberta. Because if he hits that a little bit thinner.
I don't know what happened to yours. I don't think it's a curling spot there. It's just
And we leave it short.
strange.
Watch this. Well, he's got to make it.
Yeah.
He might just make it for 1. If this hangs, or if I take off, he's got to double for 2.
Right.
Man, we just got to get it to the line.
Just got to hide a corner of it.
Gotta get it to the line.
Yeah. Right on top of the lid. If you got lines. Perfect.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, then you can just bump it back. Try to stop it here if you can.
Yeah, but if we stop it here, you can bump it back, and that'll be shot.
Oh yeah, you're right.
As you saw in that graphic,
that
Vic
is.
Peters this week has been able to steal
Any more
points,
or
and
not?
that's what he's trying to
Well,
do here.
Shouldn't.
Shouldn't?
You want a little more?
Hey, or you want to throw a short guard? What do you like, Scotty? You tight guard or you like this? The angle raise isn't easy, right? That's the one he'll play if I just throw a guard.
I think if we get a little greedy and try and wrap it around there and tick it, he has a...
Well, he does, but he's got that for 2 as well right now.
You gotta watch the line real careful.
Yeah, like if it's
The high one's not terrible.
if it's hanging, just leave it short in the 12-foot. Okay?
If Vic makes the guard, that's the rock.
A little less, I think.
Alberta will try and angle raised on for the 2 if he puts the guard on. If Vic goes into the 4-foot onto the center line, then he's got a big shot to make. And I don't think he can afford to play that angle. Don't mind giving up 1, but Alberta doesn't want to give up 2 here.
Where's it?
That's the incredible thing about this Alberta team. You always have to look at innocent-looking rocks that don't look like they're going to come to play, but they will.
Yeah, going out, Denny.
Lots of weight.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa, room!
Whoa! Right
Room!
off! Right off!
Whoa, room!
Right off!
Whoa!
Right off! Whoa!
Whoa!
Well, that's a
Beauty,
good
Vic.
shot. Absolutely a perfect shot. There's no double there. There's nothing Alberta can do. The only thing he can do is follow him down and tap him back for one.
Too far.
You couldn't have picked that
Dropped
rock
too
up in
far.
your hand, walked down the ice, and put it in a more perfect spot. There is no double. There is nothing there.
I don't think I could carry it that far.
Even if he hits it, Don, he's got to be careful that he doesn't spin. And the shooter rolls out.
That's one of the dangers.
Yes. So he's got... And
Dan Carey said we wanted to show him a corner of it, and that's
exactly
what they're showing him.
Good shot. Now, in the back of Kevin Martin's mind, his rock ran straight. The two that Don Walchuk threw down there curled quite a bit. So that has to be in his back of his mind. He's definitely tightened up the ice.
Back 4 foot, I guess. Back 8.
Just enough to
Same
nudge
weight,
it back. The danger is the shooter could roll out and leave Manitoba with a steal.
I'd be more concerned to reckon on that my own yellow on the top of the 8 foot.
Hard. Real hard.
Real hard for line.
Maybe inside.
Boy, they're brushing hard.
Real hard.
Oh, it's coming over big time. Is he going to get by? No, he's all over the guard. He's all over the guard. Is it going to come off?
No, it's a steal of 2 for Manitoba. And the end was set up, as we mentioned earlier, by a couple of fine shots by third Dan Carey. So Manitoba down by 2, now leads by 2 with 2 left.
Where in the world do you want to call? Polynesia or Peterborough? Deutschland or Denver? Wherever you call, AT&T Canada now offers you 25% savings over the local phone company's rates with no restrictions. With the AT&T Canada True Choice Anywhere Savings Plan, we don't tell you when or where to call. There's absolutely no spending minimum, no 3-number maximums, no restrictions whatsoever. Just a full 25% savings no matter what. Sign up now, and we'll also give you 1 month of free long distance to call anywhere in the world, from St. John's to Singapore. Absolutely free. Call 1-800-790-2255 right now for your 25% savings, plus 1 month free to call the world. We've got other choices too. Just ask us.
Thank you for choosing AT&T Canada.
So call anywhere in the world, but call us first.
The job was to build a tough truck, so we put the F-150 through hard labor and came up with features that work. The only super cab with a standard third door. The only 60/40 split rear bench. More footroom, more headroom, and the safety of standard dual airbags. We figure if it can handle the punishment from 9 to 5, it should work just fine on weekends. The 1997 Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength. That's pain. That's Motrin pain. Motrin relieves Motrin pain.
When the Hendrick team switched to Quaker State this year, I was talking with my crew chief about it, and he said they ran through all these tests. The dyno, the camshaft test, and the stuff beats all their standards. So I said, but don't forget, we won 8 races with last year's oil. And he said, yeah, but don't you forget, we also lost 24. Tough crowd.
Get your own special Quaker State NHL Cool Collectibles catalog when you buy your case of Quaker State Motor Oil, the official motor oil sponsor of the NHL.
The high-flying freestylers are set to wrap up another campaign, leaving no moves untried as they touch down at Hundfjallet, Sweden for the Ericsson World Freestyle Competition, March 29.
This Labatt Brier final started out slowly. The first 2 ends were blank before Manitoba scored 3. But what a battle we have had since then. Back-to-back deuces for Manitoba, and with 2 ends remaining, it's Vic Peters ahead of Kevin Martin of Alberta by a score of 8-6.
game's been such a classic. I mean, back and forth, back and forth. It's a long way from being over. The way these guys can play offense.
Okay, listen. It's gotta go. Gotta go.
They really want this one top four.
They want to play in the rings this whole end. They don't want anything out in front.
Good. Oh boy. Shot.
And of course, Alberta being down 2 would like a repeat of the 6th end, try and score 4, only in the 9th. And he'll throw up a lot of corner guards.
Every member of the Manitoba team is curling at 80% or better. The only member of the Alberta team in the 80s is second, Rudy Ramcharan.
All right.
Exactly where you want it for Alberta, corner guard, because Manitoba, of course, can't hit it. It's in the shaded gray area, free guard zone.
You know, if you took a poll of all the curlers across Canada and they said, in a very tight game, what is the best situation you'd like to find yourself in? They would say, one up coming home with last
4 foot weight.
Even though it's the free guard zone, there's a lot
Just
of rocks
4 foot weight, eh?
A little more weight, yeah.
Move it to here is good.
Very anxious time for the family of the curlers on the ice.
Tight.
Tight.
Tight line. How's the weight? Lots. Okay, okay, whoa, whoa. Whoa, can't bump it back.
Whoa. Wait for the line.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yep. Hard, Dan. Good shot. Oh boy, Scott.
Well, Scott Grant has done his job on this end. His 2 young children, Jesse and Daniel, here with their mother, Karen. And I think Jim and Grace, the parents, are much relieved that they're able to watch a curling game and they're not doing the babysitting today.
These are always anxious times for the families of the players.
That's what I'm gonna need it. It's heavy down the middle.
Watch the line.
Room.
Room. Right off. Right off.
It's gonna need it.
Hurry.
Just a freeze?
All right. That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Vic has walked up and he's decided he's going to peel the guard. And what he's saying, Don, he doesn't mind Alberta scoring 2 here because he'll have the advantage of last drop. He doesn't want to fool around in the rings with a corner guard up. And that's why he's running.
Real hard.
But he doesn't want to nose hit either.
No, this is fine.
Good shot. So he's close, man.
Yeah.
Vic yells just for the sake of everybody hearing him yell.
Yeah, there are times when Vic yells and you think the fella's missed the shot.
Yeah.
If you wick off this one, fine.
91% for Denny. Ramcharan at 83. That's good curling.
This is the Brier rookie of the players on the ice.
Back 8.
Gotta go.
Gotta go usually means he's a little bit quiet.
A lot of room.
Just a bump.
Well, hurry. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, as far as she goes. Can't step a double.
Not bad.
Well, the computer consultant for Nico Systems draws to the top of the button. Alberta lies 1.
And Alberta are just not quite putting the rocks in the right spot.
Right in the nose,
kind
good,
of
Denny.
freeze that one so that
like
Manitoba
that
makes
a
a
little
pass at it. They may make a jam. But you see that rock just stayed right beside the Manitoba rock, so it's a fairly simple takeout for Chris Neufeld.
Oh, that'll work.
Weight's good.
Well. Well. Clean. Yep. Hard. Well.
Perfectly executed by the owner of the Central Bakery in Gimli, Manitoba.
I thought it was going all the way across.
Yeah. Shot. Why don't we bump those? No?
You see Manitoba lying 3. But Kevin Martin, once again, manipulating the rocks into a position where behind the tee line that Manitoba may jam. They'll score their 2 points.
Line only. Okay, a lot of room. Hurry. Hurry. Come on.
That rock
Back
is not
12.
curling for them, so now they've decided they're just going to come off one of them.
Hurry.
Preferably the front one.
Get it over there. Get it over there.
And they get shot.
Nice touch. But Manitoba can come off their own now. He needs a little bit more roll to that yellow one.
Yeah. Right in the crotch, Dan, would be good. Okay. Want to throw normal? Yeah.
Oh. Yep. Hard.
Oh. Yep.
Hard. 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 Whoa. Whoa.
That's what the skip called for.
Pretty
Right
good shooting.
between the two stones.
Now for sure, Martin has to move these rocks behind the 4-foot area. He has to get a jam somehow out of Manitoba.
Manitoba's winning on the scoreboard. And in every percentage comparison, lead through skip.
Rate's good. Okay. Lots of room. Line's good. Hurry. Okay.
Manitoba is still lying 2.
Well, that's a good shot by Walchuk because he's moved that rock directly behind the tee line down and behind the button.
Kill that, Dan. Hey, this is a good shot right here. Okay.
Absolutely.
Kill this.
And then Vic Peters, of course, wants to move, not
Clipper
remove.
nose. Yeah.
Not on the Alberta rock, he wants to remove that other red one behind the 4-foot.
And the reason, of course, is because Alberta can come down and freeze to that one once it's behind the tee line.
Yep.
Whoa!
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 Right on!
Jam it right back onto it, and that would be
Go the other
driving
way.
the yellow
Hard,
onto
Scotty.
the red.
Oh, I think he's jammed it. Yeah. I don't know whether he got it out there or whether they should have been sweeping it all the way to pick it.
Well, the advantage now has shifted. Alberta has last rock playing this 9th end.
Wow, I did nothing. Hey? Yeah. Oh, that's really good. I thought it was real tight ice. So did I. That's why I thought I could throw it. Oh, maybe.
Just a little bit confused at how the rock is reacting
I
there.
play board or something?
A little more than bored. We want to be able to roll this thing all the way to here.
Sure doesn't take a lot to just change the entire complexion of
Half
the
a
end.
shot.
Yep.
Half a shot, you're right back in the game.
Now Alberta's looking at maybe scoring a 3.
Oh, oh.
Well, it's pretty evident what Manitoba has to do here, and that's make the straight back double.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. You couldn't roll it out. The other rock was in the way. That's good weight.
I'll play for that. Yeah. Don't want to jam and go that way. Right? Right. How's that ice? Pretty straight here, isn't it?
Vic Peters would like to come down here and jam these two and make the double kill. Even if he hits it on the high side, he gets a little bit of action over here. He might get the double that way.
Right? Like, I'd rather cross it a bit and sit there than jam and roll out.
You heard what he said. You'd rather jam it and sit right there as opposed to hitting it and rolling out. And that's a very big point. Because if he hits it and rolls out, then Alberta's got a wide open hit for 3.
Hard! Quick! Hard! Real hard! Real hard! Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay.
He got the roll towards that Yellowstone in the 12-foot, but shot rock still sits on the button belonging to Alberta.
Well, do you play the double or do you play the wide open hit to lie two?
Yeah. At least we got 2 in the house.
Agonizing is
at least we got 2 in the house.
Deb Peters. And still smiling as she watches is Shauna Martin.
Okay. Just off the nose.
Cool. Just off the nose he has to hit it. You can see he can hit where the brush is being held by Walchuk.
Go across too far, eh?
These are the kind of shots Kevin Martin loves.
And normally these are the kind of shots that he makes.
Well, he's made a career of making these shots.
Oh, hard,
hard.
Oh, hard,
Hard! Hard! Hard!
hard.
He's done it again.
Oh, what a great shot that is. Boy, he got the right amount of that rock to not only make contact with his back, but spun him all over, so he's still got 2 protected.
Lucky this isn't the old type
Look
of
at this.
scoreboard.
Yeah, really.
Both rocks rolling the same, one protecting the other.
It's easier to call into the face.
Okay. Same
We
ice.
need to go across?
Okay. That's fine. It's easier to make that way, though, because the angle.
Well, I don't mind that.
Okay.
You may have heard what was a good comment by Kevin Martin. Good thing this isn't the old type scoreboard. And that's true. They'd have run out of room by now.
That's true. Of course, we use the baseball scoreboards here, and before the numbers were in
So
the
we're
center,
playing this just off the
used to
nose
hang
on the
up
high
the
side.
ends, so they would be running out of points.
Okay.
Is right. Lots of rocks in play.
Yep.
Whoa!
Yep.
Yep!
Whoa!
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Whoa!
Oh, he's got a ton.
Got a ton is right.
A free draw for 3 for Kevin Martin to take the lead coming home. Twice Martin had attempted doubles on this 9th end. Twice he failed. Kevin Martin did not when he had a chance for 2, and that's why he is now drawing for 3.
Well, the big shot in that end that really set it up for Alberta, and you have to get breaks in curling, and certainly a break. Dan Carey, when he jammed that rock behind in the back of the 4-foot.
Johnny, go 4 feet over the hog line. There's a smudge there.
4 feet over the hog line, there's a smudge. Smudge being maybe an imprint when Vic Peters let his rock go. He put his hand down the ice. Of course, the warm hand melts the ice and gets a little bit of a smudge.
It's like, you have it. No, you have it. It's you have it. No, you have it.
Isn't that true? The thirds talking to each other. Walchuk and Carey.
They're just joking about how often the lead keeps changing hands.
Hurt. I'm not heavy. Hurt. Weight's good.
You heard him say weight's good.
Hurt.
What a battle we have been witness to this afternoon here at the Canadian Airlines.
Probably going to end up 12-9 for them.
Yeah. I'm out Melville. I don't know. I think we got to go for it.
Go for it.
Huh?
I don't want to play this. The way the 3s and 4s and 5s are going this game. Huh?
Alberta leads by 1, but Kevin Martin will not have last rock on the 10th.
Deli shaved Black Forest ham, oven roasted turkey and chicken, assorted sub.
Popular downtown deli or the Winklers on Maple Street. Introducing the new and improved taste of Maple Leaf sandwich meats that will turn your home into a deli. Deli shaved Black Forest ham, oven roasted turkey and chicken.
Kevin Martin, in talking to his third, Don Walchuk, said maybe we should go for it here on the 10th. Maybe we should be aggressive.
Well, that's right. You know, Manitoba has last rock. You get the benefit of throwing the first rock in this end, put it on the center line. If they maybe go to the corner, they're going to come around. Then that's when they'll decide.
Make sure it's 4.
If they go around their center guard, you can be rest assured they're trying to steal the end.
Hurry. Come on. Come on. 1 4 foot. Come on. Right up, guys. Hard. 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 Shut. Don. Donnie. We're going to throw it about 3 feet short. Okay. I think like... If we throw it top 12, if he does make the downweight double, we're in big trouble. Right? You know, 3 feet. Yeah.
So they've decided they're going to try and steal the game-winning point. They're not going to come into the house. They're going to put a guard 3 feet out in front of the house and say, okay, we're going to try and steal the end. Big Peter's, of course, going to throw up the corner guard.
Clean. Gotta go over here, guys.
Hoping to score 2 points on the sides.
Hard. Yep.
Alberta's going to try and steal it. So we know the game plan. Now it's execution for both teams.
Every inch. Get her off there.
I don't mind the situation being 1 down coming home with last rock. Because I know I'm assured of 1. Now I got to manufacture 2. So it'll be all offense by Manitoba.
Yeah, choke.
Well, you're only assured of 1 if you can get to the 4 foot.
Absolutely. That's the danger of playing in that area for Manitoba. If they close off that 4 foot, sometimes you can get 1 in there, but it's very difficult to get 2.
Kevin Martin earlier conferred with lead Don Bartlett, making sure they were all on the same page.
Clean. Line's good. Line's good. Just clean. Just clean. Just clean is good. Just clean. That's good. No, Don. No, 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 no. No, Don. No, no. What? I just want to be able to expose it, to bump it a little. Nice weight.
Good here, Scott.
It's fitting that we should be treated to such a tremendous game before world record crowds for individual draws for a Brier and for the week of curling competition.
That's true, you know, and these players do this time and time again.
Real hard for line.
The many years that we've telecast
Real hard.
semifinals and finals of the Brier, they've always been outstanding curling.
Real hard, guys. Got a chance.
They're great technicians.
Hard.
They can make it hard.
Hard. Keep her going. Keep her going.
Okay, well.
Oh, just a good shot.
Good shot.
We might see all 16 rocks in play in this one.
You could be right.
Oh boy.
Kevin's going to try to play what we call kitty bar the door for the rest of the game, and that's throwing up guards. Vic may want to waste 1 here and maybe run a couple of them off the front because he's got 1 in position. But his second shot rock, that could be the winner.
Gotta get it over.
Hurry. Well, isn't that the truth? Because Manitoba's got to, as you mentioned, make sure they can get to the 4 foot
hard,
for at least their
line.
single
Come on.
point.
Can't rack. Come on. Oh. Oh, kick. That's good. Shot route.
I think you got to run your own red one now, one of those 2 yellow ones. I think you got a clean house. Oh boy, I don't like playing in there, especially when there's 3 guards up in front. I think so.
I like that.
Okay.
Little off. Little off.
Yeah.
Nose isn't bad.
Now, you heard him say nose isn't bad. Now, there's a reason for that, because if he sits it right there, there's a chance he may be able to run it back later in the end.
Yep.
That's the key.
Low, right off.
He doesn't want to disturb his red one in the house.
Low.
Curling too much.
Atta boy.
Now, what Manitoba's doing here, hoping, of course, that Alberta doesn't put on a good guard and they'll be able to come around and promote their red one onto the yellow one and score 2.
Kevin Martin started this end playing to steal. leading by 1, but without blast rock. He has decided he will try and steal the winning point here on the 10th. Actually, he's got the winning point, but to protect that winning point here on the 10th.
Okay, line's better. Got room this time.
More weight.
Okay, whoa then. Wow.
Oh.
Weight's okay. Hurry. Oh. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, try to bury a piece if you can. Come on.
Hear him saying, try to bury a piece if you can. I think you got to play. I think you got to play the run.
Right on the nose.
Nose? Come across it a bit. That's not bad either. Or a nose.
What about a nose?
Yeah.
If he hits it nose, he'll drive it straight back onto their own, onto the shot rock.
Same weight, Denny. Same weight. Same weight.
Yeah.
Yep. One more weight.
Well, yep.
Hard.
Real hard.
Real hard. Real hard. Real hard.
Harder.
Well, roll that one, Scotty.
Made it worse.
Okay.
Well, I just don't like the way the rocks are setting up in the front. There's no angles. There's no tap backs you can make. There's
How
nothing.
about here?
I think you got to blast this one on the right-hand side here and get rid of some of those rocks. I really do. I think you got to waste one.
Kevin Martin assessing all the angles.
It's long guard.
I mean, this is not a pleasant way to play for Kevin Martin either, you know. He's one up, mind you, he has the luxury of being one up and he's got shot rock, but I mean, this is not good. But I don't like those rocks in front for Manitoba's sake because they're covering that 4 foot and there's no way you can get in.
Long guard.
Long guard. Okay. Hurry. Hard. Oh.
I think now you got to play the red. And I might have played at the shot before as opposing to the straight run back by Chris Neufeld. I think you got to play the high red one.
Just off the nose? Then you get them both, I think.
Yeah, you got to hit like 3/4 high, I think.
To make this onto here, you got to hit. It's got to hit it right here.
Oh, you're trying to leave that middle one there?
Not really.
Oh. 3/4. I think if you hit this 3/4.
No, you'll hit that 3 rock then.
Yeah, but you'll hit the 4 too. Okay.
No, we know what we want. It's all right. Yeah. That's all we got anyway. Got to open something up.
Yeah.
Got no shot.
Peel, eh?
Well, just throw what are you going to throw, normal? Just normal.
Okay.
No, the ice for normal.
This one's normal.
Well, what he's looking at, you see Vic Pitter's taking a long, hard look at it. He's just trying to line up the angle. He has to hit this on the high side and get it over in this pile here and redistribute all those rocks. So maybe
normal hit.
The yellow one would get out of the way, open it up a bit, and at least leave a couple of red ones where you may be able to promote them.
Jeez, that's not a lot of ice to hit 3/4 high. What did Nick's doing down there? You need more than that, don't you?
Well, it was a courageous move by Kevin Martin. His decision to try and steal this 10th end.
You want that?
Yeah.
And just feels a little bit more comfortable with a little bit more ice. If he hits half a rock, he'd be fine.
Wow. Wow.
How much will he disturb these stones?
Gotta stay with my ice.
Sit. Sit.
Just out of the rings.
Jeez, we hit almost 3/4. A little higher than that. Not a lot.
Actually, a little bit unfortunate there.
Watch the time, eh?
Yeah. I'd rather leave it there.
I was watching this one.
Yeah. I wasn't watching either.
It's the guard.
Of course, for Alberta, the guard You see the time. Both running very, very close. 4 minutes and 41 and 4 minutes and 47.
Just a guard.
Clean it. Clean it.
Okay. Clean. Hurry. Hard, guys. Hard. We can't rack. Hard. That's a good shot.
Absolutely. That's a perfect shot. Absolutely perfect.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's perfect. Yeah.
That is
So you got
a
to double
perfect
peel
spot.
again and just try to open things up.
Just a straight throw a little more.
You got, oh, yeah.
Vic looking at the angles.
A little less than half, Dan.
What?
A little less than half.
Okay.
Right there.
A little less than half. He's trying to angle it, the high one, onto his other one, hoping that it goes across the face and drives it straight back into the rings.
And if that should occur, Manitoba would be lying too.
Yeah. Hard. Hard. Real hard.
Nice shot.
Roll, Denny. Roll, Denny.
That's hard luck.
Oh, boy.
That is a good shot.
Did he need to hit it thicker?
Yes, he need to hit it thicker.
No, we cut it back this way too much.
Yeah, he cut across the face of it too much.
Time out. Time out.
And now time is a
one,
problem
Scotty.
for both sides, and as a result, Alberta has called the timeout.
Not only that, that red rock on the right-hand side, somebody's missed it. It's got to come off. There you see Grant's going over to get it now. And that may not look like much, but they may have come off that one at some point. They're all so anxious about all the rocks moving around, they missed it. Well,
No, we had to hit more, right?
No, we had to hit less.
Less.
We sliced it back this way too thin.
Right, we had to hit less. Yeah, we had
No,
to
we
hit
had to
less.
hit more of the front rock.
more of the front one is right. Not less, more.
Hold it.
Clean it.
Line's nice.
Line's good.
Line's good. Clean. Don't lose it.
Line's good.
Perfect. Clean. Hurry.
It's gonna move.
Gotta move. Come on. Come on.
Bust it.
Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hard, Don. Hard, no hole. That's good.
Trying to plug the hole between those two Yellowstones outside the rings. And Martin has succeeded.
There's no hole through there, is there?
Well, there might be.
No, it's not wider than the rock. If it was a 1/4 inch wider than the rock, Vic could make the darn thing.
Time out. Denny, you think it'll go through? Think it'll go through?
Manitoba now calling a timeout.
Manitoba down to just 2 minutes and 59 seconds, so they have their two 1-minute timeouts left to take.
I don't think there's a hole.
I think there's...
And what they're looking at is that little opening.
What's the options?
At the front.
This one? Cutting it across?
We can't get to this, eh?
No.
No?
That's not. Gotta throw, if I could throw bumper and cut that 6 across. If I could open up both, you know what I mean?
Well, you could clear both the front guards.
What? No way.
Yes, sir. You throw hard weight at that?
No.
Right there.
No.
Yeah, you'll move it. It's just a question of if you move it far enough and save the shooter.
I think we got to open. That's the last resort, right?
Let's run these two guards.
You don't want to try the hole, eh? I mean, if we go tick, tick.
No, do it this way.
No, but I'm saying, why don't we try the hole?
Oh, boy.
Are you?
Well, what do you think?
I don't think it's there.
Like a, what? Like a tick.
Time's in.
Okay. Yeah. You like that?
Yeah. Well, 3/4, eh?
Okay. A little less. A little more ice. Sorry.
3/4.
A little more.
He hits 3/4. He's trying to run it straight back.
You like that? Try to run them both. Try to run them both. Try to run both guards off. The hole looks like it's a hole from here, though, doesn't it?
Here's what he's trying to do. He's trying to run this one over onto this one and kind of open it up a little bit. If he hits 3/4,
try the hole? Yeah, but at least we can hit it then. It's a hole there, Dan.
Well,
he still thinks there's a hole between those two stones.
I don't think so.
In turn, you got to throw.
Manitoba, less than 2 minutes left to play the game. And he's got 2 rocks left to play.
But he's still got another timeout.
We got to throw the other turn, Dan.
He's going to play the out turn.
A little less.
The drama unfolding here at the Canadian Airlines Saddledome. Time becoming very much a factor.
The openings of rocks always look larger from the other end.
Oh!
No! Right off. No!
Can he get through? Oh, he came so close.
Oh boy, and that's the one he had to get by. That was very, very close.
Yeah, it was there.
He felt it was there.
For sure.
Think so?
Hooks that much. That's the guard we had to be tight to.
He's really hooking at the end there, too. Good try. Good throw.
If his guard hooks more, got yellow straight back. Real thin, eh?
Right on the nose.
Right on the nose, yeah.
It's same ice, but I was pretty
See,
short.
they're already talking about the second shot for Vic Peters.
I guess we can take an inch less.
Trying to cover it up.
Clean.
Kevin Martin with his final stone of this 10th end, trying to guard.
It's got to move.
That shot rock.
Weight's better this time, Don. Hurry, come on, Root.
Yep.
Come on, hard. It's got a curl. Come on. Okay, clean, clean, clean. Hurry.
Okay.
Hurry.
This time, I think he has taken away any possibility of Vic Peters finding the hole between the guards. Nothing more Martin can do.
Yeah.
I don't know
we got to
whether
play a half rock, right?
Yeah, sure it won't come off road, eh?
Well, or we can hit this one. No, it's behind it, Scotty. You hit this thing full of, if you hit a half rock, you get nothing. You hit this and you're gone. You hit 3/4, you got nothing.
3/4, you'll
It's too far behind it. You'll hit it, but you only move it to here.
With 1:06 on the clock, they have used their second timeout.
They have about 20 seconds left on their second timeout. Boy, then the clock starts ticking.
Oh, you're gonna.
Well, our half rock just.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I can't see enough of it now to go straight back.
Unless you played like bumper.
Dan, this way we can get one at least, eh? If I don't get it perfect.
Yeah.
Throw the way you threw. I know that ice there.
Okay.
Well, like that.
What do we got to hit then?
What do you got to hit, Denny? A little more than half.
2/3, eh?
Yeah.
half a rock. He wants to hit it, drive over here, and onto this one.
Okay, Victor.
Their clock is ticking again. 59
your
seconds.
second one. He's got lots of time. 53 seconds left.
But this is as close as he has come.
Just a little more than half.
Running out of time.
He just has to start the rock in motion, and then that's
Hey, what do you guys think? A little more than half. I got to hit a little thicker than half.
And there is absolutely nothing Kevin Martin can do. He has played his final stone. And unless Vic Peters makes this one, Martin will have his second Brier title.
Hard! Slow!
He's close.
No, it backed off on him.
And it is Kevin Martin stealing on the 10th end. And Kevin Martin
All right now, brother. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. Hang in, guys.
Oh, way to go, you guys. Come on, get in there. Way to go, guys. Way to go, you guys.
Well, it's not often curlers get an opportunity to win the Brier in their home province. But Kevin Martin has accomplished the feat here at the Canadian Airlines Saddledome in Calgary.
The job was to build a tough truck, so we put the F-150 through hard labor and came up with features that work. The only super cab with a standard third door. The only 60/40 split rear bench. More footroom, more headroom, and the safety of standard dual airbags. We figure if it can handle the punishment from 9 to 5, it should work just fine on weekends. The 1997 Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength.
It was about the time that gold was discovered on Bonanza Creek that the Canadian Bank of Commerce set out on the epic trek to the Klondike to open the first official bank. There was plenty of gold, all right, but the men knew they could trust the bank because they were there on behalf of the government and could see a larger dream, a dream called Canada.
As in the past, CIBC continues to play a pioneering role by investing in Canada's vision of the future. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
Maybe you think only those jet set types need a Nokia cellular phone.
Hi, it's me. Flight's delayed.
Well, now Nokia's making cellular phones so easy.
Late. Can I skip my bath?
They're practically child's play.
Attention, Flight 11 is delayed.
Can I call you back?
With Nokia's big, easy-to-read screens, last number redial, and sleek designs.
No, don't hold dinner. I'm eating my body weight in hot dogs. No, wait up. You gotta tuck me in.
So get set to join the jet set. Nokia, Europe's leading cellular phone, also made in America, connecting people.
People hear the Hendrick Motorsports team switched to Quaker State this year, they'll probably think Quaker State wrote us a big check. Well, that's not how it happened. First, it had to pass our camshaft test. Then it had to pass our dyno test. Then it had to pass a track test. Then they wrote us the big check.
Look for the new Quaker State NHL Cool Collectibles catalog at all dealers displaying this sign. You can get great NHL League and team-identified items when you have your oil changed with Quaker State, the official motor oil sponsor of the NHL.
It started with a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
Springtime in Paris means speed in the form of Bruni Surin and Gail Devers. A rebirth for Mary Slaney. And women's pole vaulting hits new heights at the World Indoor Track and Field Championships, March 29th. The Labatt Brier, live on CBC. Brought to you by Labatt, Good Things Brewing. By Ford Trucks, go where you've never gone before. By AT&T, in a world of long distance, there is only one true choice. And by Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, seeing beyond.
Welcome back live on CBC Sports, and please welcome your 1997 Labatt Brier champions from Alberta. Skip Kevin Martin, third Don Walchuk, second Rudy Ramcharan, lead Don Bartlett, and the coach and fifth Jules Ochar. Here to present Team Alberta with the tankard is Mark Portland, the president for Prairie Region of Labatt Breweries, and CCA president Pat Reed.
Well, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Labatt Brewery, I'm very pleased to present this beautiful Labatt Tankard Trophy to this year's Brier champions, the Alberta Ring. The Alberta Ring. Skip, Mr. Martin. Third, Mr. Walchuk. Second, Mr. Ramcharan. Lead, Mr. Bartlett. And alternate, Mr. Hocher. Congratulations, you're really Canadian champion. Canada, you're Labatt Brier champion for 1997. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Yes.
You're taking it.
I'm taking it.
Present it.
Thank you. Where's my white gloves?
Go ahead.
There it is. Sorry. Sorry.
What a game, what a finish. Alberta beating Manitoba 10-8. We'll be back to talk to Kevin Martin, the new skip of the Brier champs, right after this.
At first glance, this battery looks like most other batteries, except for one important feature. Only a UAP Napa battery meets the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
At Maple Leaf, when we reduce the fat in our new lean and light wieners and bologna, we tested the taste with families just like yours. We found we could reduce the fat by 60%, and lean and light would still have that mouth-watering Maple Leaf taste. Any less fat? Well then, we'd appeal to only some members of the family. The uncompromised great taste of new Maple Leaf Lean and Light. Taste that's a cut above.
Now that we've added even more flights to the Canadian Airlines schedule, you can fly the Canadian Shuttle between Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary over 90 times a day. And fly more non-stops to more places in the U.S. than any other airline. Now that's a frequent flyer program. Canadian Airlines. The way you want to fly.
Would you mind putting these in order for me?
Okay. I eat the ice cream. I get the pain.
Yeah.
And then I start with Sensodyne again.
Okay, now try brushing with Sensodyne every day.
Hey, what happened to the pain?
Sensodyne every day helps prevent the pain of sensitive teeth.
Yeah, I'm with you, but how do I prevent cavities?
With this.
F? As in fluoride? So, I brush with Sensodyne F every day to help prevent the pain.
And the cavities.
At first glance, this battery looks like most other batteries, except for one important feature. Only a UAP Napa battery meets the top quality standards of UAP Napa. UAP Napa, the right brand for the job.
And there is Shauna Martin jumping into Kevin Martin's arms. Is she happy? It's a wonderful kiss. Kevin Martin clinching the Labatt Brier, the key for him, the big 3 in the 9th, and then stealing 1 in the 10th for a thrilling win over Manitoba. And holy moly, my heart, Kevin. I mean, defense was not in the game today, was it?
No, it was all offense today, no defense at all.
What do you think about this fabulous crowd here? How was it to win at home turf?
Oh, thank you very much. Like, what an awesome crowd. You know, it just makes it so great for everybody. You know, it's a wonderful thing, wonderful feeling.
Were you a little nervous after he, stole the 2 in the 8th end? I mean, what were you thinking going into the 9th?
I thought we were in big trouble, actually. But you never know. Things, weird stuff happens in Brier finals.
You know, weird stuff has happened to you against Manitoba in the last two previous Briers. Do you feel you've gotten over a little bit of the jinx when it comes to facing Manitoba in the sudden death situation?
Thanks for bringing that up, Colleen.
Sorry.
We feel better now.
You're off to the Worlds and a lot on the line today because you've also got that coveted Olympic trial berth in Brandon, and of course you represented Canada. These guys would like to see you back. You were there at Albertville in '92. That must feel great to have that as well.
Yeah, we have a chance now. You bet. We're in Brandon, and we're really looking forward to to Bern, and hopefully we can represent Canada well.
What can you say about your team that we don't already know? Awesome. Just never give up.
Well, never give up. That's exactly the way they played this week. And Jesus, but a great bunch of guys.
Excellent. Listen, it's not very often people from Calgary are cheering this loudly from somebody from Edmonton, but congratulations. Always a pleasure. Kevin Martin, of course, the new Labatt Brier champion. Second time he's done it as he gets ready now to go to the Worlds in lovely Bern, Switzerland. We'll be back with more after this.
My nose is stubbed up, dry, and irritated, too.
Otrivin. New Otrivin with moisturizers.
It'd be so good to see you smile, the smile you wear. You shoot the breeze as if we never had a care. It'd be so great to hear your laughter coming through. Yeah, that's it, you know it's the least I can do.
Is it true you encourage people not to do their taxes?
Yes.
Why is that, sir?
It's a hassle. They've got better things to do.
Sir, some people describe you as a tax vigilante.
Really? Well, we prefer to think of ourselves as providers of peace of mind.
So you're not working alone?
Heck no. Our organization's over 12,000 people strong.
Sir,
To impress the gentler set, one mustn't allow perspiration to run amok. Thus, I introduced this new approach to wetness and odor protection. New Right Guard Clear Stick, all the protection of a white stick, now in a clear stick. So clear, there's no flaky white stuff. Now perspiration hasn't a chance with this new advance. New Right Guard Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
When the Hendrick team switched to Quaker State this year, I was talking with my crew chief about it, and he said they ran through all these tests. The dyno, the camshaft test, and the stuff beats all their standards. So I said, but don't forget, we won 8 races with last year's oil. And he said, yeah, but don't you forget, we also lost 24. Tough crowd.
Get your own special Quaker State NHL Cool Collectibles catalog when you buy your case of Quaker State Motor Oil, the official motor oil sponsor of the NHL.
Oh, great. Just when I have to give a speech.
Ultravin.
Want to introduce you to our Safeway All-Stars as voted by the reporters here. Neil Harrison from Ontario, the All-Star lead. When isn't he All-Star lead at a Brier? He's so consistent. Joining him at the front end position, second stone Pat Perreault. Had a terrific week all week. No question about the All-Star third. That would be Don Walchuk from Alberta. It is the 5th time at the Brier that he has been named to an All-Star team, either at second or third. And the All-Star skip. He had a fabulous week. Vic Peters guiding his team to a perfect 11-0 record before dropping today's final game. Vic Peters, you did have a terrific week. That game went back and forth all the way. Is there one shot you would like to have back?
Well, I had to make one of the doubles in 9 for sure to hold him to 2 and possibly, you know, have the hammer in the last end with the tie situation. But, you know, there was a whole bunch of times there wasn't much defense out there today, so I had chances in 6, you know, to make something off the wall there to cut him down to 3 instead of 4. So any of those shots were big.
It was a classic game, though. Despite the high score, so many terrific shots. Were you worried about time in the end as the clock kept ticking down?
Right. I mean, you have to hurry, obviously, and I would have liked a few more seconds to look at things, but we all know we're under those time restrictions, so that's the way it goes.
Vic Peters, you gave us so many thrills throughout the week. Congratulations on a great showing here at the Labatt Brier.
Thank you very much.
Vic Peters and his Manitoba rink losing 10-8 to Alberta today, so it's Alberta who clinches the Labatt Brier. We'll be right back to wrap things up after this.
Yeah, I would say I was a natural clown all my life. The costume brings the clown to life. I want them to see a clean clown. Cake, punch, pudding. It's on me, it's on them. I've ruined costumes. It took me quite a while to figure out what works.
Tide with Bleach works on your white and colored clothes. The leading lemon detergent with bleach left on what Tide with Bleach got out.
Whites have to pop. They make the colors pop.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
If I can't get it clean, it's not funny.
This is a map of back pain. This is a relief map for back pain. Extra strength Tylenol aches and strains. It puts back pain behind you.
How's the diarrhea? Did you take Imodium?
Yeah, I took Imodium.
Well,
It worked.
told you. Just one dose and bingo.
Imodium gablets, fast relief, often with one dose.
Tell me you're not relieved.
I'm very relieved.
That makes two of us.
Let's go.
Showtime.
Hey, where to? I'll just check my notebook. Stop! Follow that notebook! Come on! I thought that was your cab. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Stop that cab!
Hey, look on the bright side.
Oh, thank you. Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
Man, that thing's really taking a beating, huh?
Oh, yeah. Woo! Look at that baby go! Could we please catch up to that cab? Yeah. I can get it! Look! Get it anything! No, don't do that! You lost it, you bad cabbie, you!
Hey, there it is.
Go, go! It's going... Ah! No! No! My notebook!
Toshiba Notebook Computers.
Yes!
Tough enough for today's world.
Welcome to Speedy. Quality is our guide, 'cause our job's not finished till you're satisfied. We'll fix your car right at a price that's low. For any make or model, we're the place to go. At Speedy, you're a somebody, so you don't need to call. No appointment needed, no, not at all. Our estimate is free, and it's the final price you'll see. We'll only fix what's needed, and it's all guaranteed. Speedy knows what you need. Service and value guaranteed.
The joy of victory. That is Shauna Martin on her feet, applauding as her husband steals a crucial single point in the 10th and final 8 to beat out Manitoba 10-8, and there they are, the 1997 Labatt Brier champions, and they have been so close in the last two previous Briers, so to see them clinch it today certainly is the icing on the cake for Kevin Martin and company. And what a week of curling it has been here in Calgary at the Canadian Airlines Saddledome. They have gone big league curling. They were able to jam people into this building. Over 17,000 people on hand as they shatter all attendance records for curling. They had action on the Jumbotron. Great curling, great ice. They seem to have everything. It's a turning point for curling. Can they ever go back to the small towns? That is the big question mark. Now, of course, we're going to take a look at the Ford World Curling Championships, the women's final. We will have live for you from Bern, Switzerland. Sandra Schmerler is Team Canada from Saskatchewan, and we'll have the men's final, the world final, for you Sunday, April 20th. So join us for that. On behalf of all of us here at CBC Sports, thanks for joining us for the weekend, and we'll see you in Bern, Switzerland.
Let's bring on the Davis one more time.
Well, all-out
warfare is how Kevin Martin of Alberta described today's final against Vic Peters in his Manitoba rink. Manitoba was looking to win its third straight Brier, while Kevin Martin and Alberta were hoping they wouldn't be forced to be the bridesmaid again this year. They were the class of the field all week, splitting 2 games so far, and Martin looking good early. We'll take you to the second end. Peters has 2 rocks in the house, but not anymore. Martin with a great double takeout. Peters forced to blank the end. But keeping last rock pays off in the third. After 2 Martin misses, Peters is left with open draw for 3. Great sweeping saves this one. Manitoba grabs an early 3-0 lead. Well, during the 5th end, well, Peters talking with his kids and picking up a few pointers. In the 6th end, Alberta turning it on. Third, Don Walchuk with the double raise takeout, and Alberta lies 2. Later